Morning and welcome once again to Perkins Online. This morning, I want to start by having read for us the editorials in each of our morning newspapers, The Gleaner and The Observer. They both have to do with the fact that the Prime Minister is reported as having set up some kind of a committee to investigate, I suppose the word would be, the statement made by the junior minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Errol Ennis, concerning the raid carried out or the treatment of Wilmot by the financial administration. What's it called? The
Financial Services
Limited. Yes, this is
Financial Services Commission.
Financial Services Commission. And in particular, the raid carried out on their offices by parties of policemen. In the course of his letter to the Observer, which was published, I think, one day last week, Mr. Ennis described the approach, the action of the government as Gestapo-like, reminiscent of a totalitarian state. And what was the other one? There are three points.
Vulgar abuse of state power.
Vulgar abuse of state power. Vulgar abuse of state power, reminiscent of a totalitarian state, and employing Gestapo-like tactics. Now, today, what is today? When was that letter published? Published in the Observer.
The Business Observer?
One day last week.
Yes. Last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday. So it has taken both the Observer and the Gleaner 7 days in which to come up with a comment on that letter. I should have thought that it would have required more urgent attention than that. But listen, this is the Gleaner's editorial now. Listen to this.
It's called Government by Committee.
Government by Committee.
Prime Minister Simpson Miller has fudged when she should have acted with firmness and clarity. In that regard, her administration is assuming the worst attributes of her predecessors, P.J. Patterson. Why have a horse when you can get a committee to design an approximation thereof? So it is that she has appointed a cabinet committee to meet with Errol Ennis, the junior minister for Agriculture and Lands, to determine whether he wrote a letter to the press critical of the Financial Services Commission's investigation of David Smith's Wilmot money trading scheme. And if he wrote the letter, the committee is to determine whether Mr. Ennis still holds his views.
So if Mr. Ennis wrote the letter, but has changed his mind since, everything cool. Right? Carry on.
Well, Mr. Ennis, who incidentally was previously the junior finance minister, has not denied authorship of the letter, which described the FSC's raid on the Wilmot office last year as Gestapo-like, vulgar abuse of state power, and highly reflective of the actions of a totalitarian state, unquote. Mr. Ennis is not a member of the cabinet and perhaps therefore does not feel himself bound by the Westminster notion of collective responsibility, which would be odd given his role as a senior member of the executive. Yet there are two fundamental points on which Mr. Ennis has publicly diverged with his government colleagues, which should cause him to reassess his role in the administration, especially in the face of the Cabinet's endorsement of the actions of the FSC with regard to Olint. The FSC is concerned that Mr. Smith resisted attempts to bring his organization under the Commission's regulatory authority, arguing that as a members club, Olint need not be licensed. Olint has moved its operations outside of Jamaica, but the FSC boss, Brian Winter, has left little doubt of his view that Mr. Smith's operation is likely to be only short of a Ponzi scheme. At best, the regulators believe it is a highly speculative operation, which, if it goes, will not only hurt investors but undermine confidence in the Jamaican financial market. Mr. Ennis disagrees. He sees Olint as a source of substantial reflows, which would be a boon to the Jamaican economy, or that was his position in his letter. But Mr. Ennis goes further, much further, in his characterization of the Jamaican state. He believes its behavior with regard to Olint to be totalitarian, crunching and jackbooted in enforcing its will. If that is Mr. Ennis's considered view, and given the cabinet standing by the FSC, it would seem to us that Mr. Ennis's continued occupation of a critical place in the government is untenable. His own integrity should declare this to himself, indeed.
Yes, I haven't got a problem with that, because I don't see how Mr. Ennis can remain a member of a government that he has described in those terms.
Indeed, he could effectively maintain his campaign against the perceived excesses of the state from the parliamentary backbenches. Giving up ministerial privilege should not be too much.
Ministerial privilege?
Privileges should not be too much. If Mr. Simpson Miller feels that Mr. Ennis is in fundamental breach of the principle of collective responsibility, telling him so and booting him from the government should not be difficult. A simple telephone call to Mr. Ennis could ascertain whether he still holds the position he enunciated in his letter. But the PM prefers to go the route of a committee. She's likely to get her camel.
Is that it?
Yes.
That's all?
Yes, that's the end of the Gleaner editorial.
That's all that the Gleaner thinks it necessary to say on this issue. At the most, that, first of all, that there was no necessity to set up a cabinet committee. But, and that Mr. Ennis, if he continues to hold his views, those views, should not remain a member of the government, or hold ministerial office, right? That's about it, isn't it? Is there anything else that they... Anyway, let's hear the Observer.
This one is called... Its editorial is Madame PM stalling on Mr. Ennis.
Is what?
Madame PM.
TN.
PM, Prime Minister. Stalling on Mr. Ennis. It strikes us as more than a little odd that the Prime Minister has found it necessary to appoint a team to discuss Mr. Errol Ennis' statement on Olint Corporation and the FSC. Unless, of course, there's more than meets the eye, and Mr. Ennis is venting more than his conscience. Mr. Ennis is a junior minister in Roger Clark's agricultural ministry. So what would it take to have Mr. Clark, or the Prime Minister herself, for that matter, call him in to discuss his statement as published in the Business Observer last week, Wednesday. A cursory reading of the decision suggests to us that the PM is stalling and hoping for the matter to die a natural death. She doesn't consider the matter important enough, or is getting resistance from Mr. Ennis to discuss the statement. For sure, Mr. Ennis's very strident criticism of the statement of the state-run Financial Services Commission gives serious cause for concern. In a letter to the Observer, the Minister of State in the Agriculture Ministry described a raid by the Financial Investigation Division, the financial policing arm of the Ministry of Finance and the FSC, on the offices of the Foreign Exchange Trader and Investment Club, Wilmot, as, quote, Gestapo-like, a vulgar abuse of state power and highly reflective of the actions of a totalitarian state, unquote. These are serious words indeed. But Mr. Ennis, who is a former junior Minister of Finance, went further to say that the raid was designed to destroy the Foreign Exchange Trading and Investment Club, which he suggested should instead be encouraged, quote, as a possible boon to the Jamaican economy, unquote. Quote, the invasion of Olin's offices was therefore nothing more than the action of a bunch of economic Luddites, scared and uncertain of a bright new world, unquote, Mr. Ennis charged. We do not know if it was deliberate or just mere coincidence, but Mr. Ennis's letter came a few days after the Finance Minister, Dr. Omar Davies, had warned people who put money in alternative investment schemes such as Olint that they were doing so without the protection of the state. It is clear that Mr. Ennis is on a collision course with his own government. Indeed, the Information Minister, Mr. Donald Buchanan, reiterated that, quote, the Cabinet disassociates itself from Minister Ennis's pronouncements, and we once again reaffirm our confidence in the FSC, unquote. However, the question is...
Hold on, let's take a break and come back to that. Very much. Let's just finish the few paragraphs left of the Observer's editorial.
Yes, I just read the paragraph leading up to it. Huh? It is clear that Mr. Ennis is on a collision course with his own government. Indeed, the Information Minister, Mr. Donald Buchanan, reiterated that, quote, the Cabinet disassociates itself from Minister Ennis's pronouncements, and we once again reaffirm our confidence in the FSC, unquote, to continue. However, the question is, how much latitude is allowed to ministers to speak their conscience? As a country, we are still not yet very comfortable with government ministers or members of parliament adopting positions contrary to the administration or political party of which they are a part. Last week, Jamaica Labour Party MP Clive Mullins broke ranks with his opposition colleagues who supported the Proceeds of Crime bill in the House, saying he was depending on the Senate to rescue the bill by not passing it. The rhetoric was less strident than Mr. Ennis's, but it was encouraging to see that the JLP appears to be taking this one in its stride. Of course, it could be that Mr. Ennis is trying to distance himself from the Portia Simpson-Miller administration, and in this event, he should state so unequivocally. In any event, we still don't see the need for a team to meet to discuss the matter.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Now you heard those two editorials published in the two leading, well, the only two daily newspapers, no, there's a Star. The two leading, let's call them, daily newspapers in this country. Is it possible to think of anything more dismal in the quality of the journalism displayed here. Anything? Is it possible to see what could they have been? Could they have written that would have been more? Well, I don't know. I'm confused. Both papers are preoccupied entirely, and this shows you what are the problems of this country. Our inability to understand both papers are concerned only with the issue of how Mrs. Simpson Miller, as Prime Minister, is going to deal with a minister who broke ranks. Right? Does she need to have a committee dealing with the matter? Or does she just get on the phone to the minister and say to him, now look here, pack your bags? Right? Okay, fine. If one might reasonably expect that in such circumstances, a Prime Minister might want to, would find it intolerable to have in ministerial office a minister who spoke as Mr. Rennie spoke about her government. Those were very strong words. And both papers are preoccupied with this. Is Mr. Ennis, having said what he said, to remain a member of the government? And both seem to be suggesting that the question will be solved when a decision is made upon that issue. That all questions related to this will be solved. Is Mr. Ennis to remain a member of the government, having said what he said? It has not up to now, it seems, occurred to either editor that the real issue for Jamaica, we're not talking here about the issue for the PNP or the issue for the JLP. The real issue for Jamaica and its people concerns the validity or otherwise of what Mr. Ennis had to say. Portia Simpson Miller may find it, and his colleagues in government may find it impossible to tolerate him, having regard to what he said about the way they are conducting the business of this country. They might want to get rid of him. But what about the people of Jamaica that the Gleaner and the Observer are supposed to serve and to provide with information and with an understanding of what it is that is going on in this country? Mr. Ennis has spoken about the government vulgarly abusing its authority, vulgarly abusing power, using methods reminiscent of totalitarianism, or behaving in ways reminiscent of a totalitarian state. The Gleaner does not think that is an issue of importance to be considered. It is one thing if you go through the matter, consider it carefully, and come to the conclusion that Mr. Ennis is talking nonsense. But what if he isn't? And the same is true about the Observer. Neither paper, I mean, they both seem to belong in some place like the intellectual ghetto. Right? Neither of them understands the implications of, or seems to regard as being in any way important, the implications of what Mr. Ennis said for the future of Jamaica. Is the government of Jamaica, through its agencies, like the particular one involved here, is the government of Jamaica inclined, at its convenience, to use high-handed and totalitarian measures, not in any way related to the real interests of the Jamaican people? That is what seems to me to be at issue here. But it hasn't occurred to the Gleaner, hasn't occurred to the Observer, that those are the real issues. Is what Mr. Ennis says true? Now, maybe in saying it, in determining that it needed to be said, he should have been prepared to resign his office. Fine. But that does not answer what I consider the real question. Did Mr. Ennis speak truthfully about what is happening in government? And what is more, Mr. Ennis did not limit that statement to the action taken against Oland. He mentioned in an interview on two this radio station and on Cool FM, the Cliff Hughes program, a number of other instances in which such conduct had been adopted by the government. And, you know, my own view is that Mr. Ennis is quite correct, and that it does not end with the government dealing with companies or with financial houses or, you know, banks, whatever. It goes over to the way in which citizens of this country are treated by the government and governmental agencies. It goes back to Green Bay, when a number of citizens of this country were lured to that death trap by officers and men of the Jamaica Defence Force. Taken there, where they had soldiers waiting to trap them, right? Put before in a target area and fire opened on them, right? And they were cut down. And then the lie was told that they were there collecting arms from a ship. Unfortunately, in that case, a number of officers, including Colonel Douglas, he was at the time, I believe, Colonel Douglas, and And hold on just a moment. We take a break. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you. And where were we? Talking about this, these two absurd editorials in the Gleaner. Well, certainly, if not absurd, certainly insufficient, shallow-minded, you know. And it tells you what is wrong with this country. How people in positions of leadership in this country don't really understand what is going on and the implications of it. Right? And are incapable of offering the country the kind of guidance that it needs. I don't know. It seems to me that this country is going deeper and deeper and deeper into trouble from which it doesn't seem to have the thinking power to extricate itself. Right? What I find fascinating about what Mr. Rennie said is whether it is true. And as I say, when you look back over the recent history of this country and the things that have been happening, I was talking about Green Bay and the murder of men out there by members of the army. Thank God, I was saying there were some members of the army, including Colonel Douglas and Captain Webley, I think he was at the time. He was the husband of that lady who is now running on the in the Mountain View area for the Labour Party. But they and a number of others came out and gave evidence as to what had happened. But it didn't take us very far. Not one of the persons who had engineered this thing, this brutal, savage murder of Jamaican citizens, was convicted. Not one. Got away scot-free. And we have been seeing this happening over and over and over again. The Jamaican citizen, per se, is worth absolutely nothing. Right? Policeman, soldier can come kick him down and shoot him and whatever. And nothing comes of it. Little Johnny Salin, Michael Gale, Adana Barrett. Right? And we don't understand. We don't see that, you know, this is in keeping with the kinds of things that Hitler and his Himmler and the rest of them thought that they had the right to do against Germans and other peoples. I don't know if Mr. Ennis can say something like this, and the Gleaner and the Observer thinks that all that is happening here is that he had said something contrary to the position of his government, and that he should be fired for it. If that is all that these people at high levels in the society, if this is all that they think has happened here, well, God help us. I don't know how we're going to get out of this predicament. Okay, let's go to the telephone. Hello?
Good morning, sir.
Morning to you, sir.
Long time I don't talk to you, no, sir.
Yes, indeed. I wonder why.
Yes, sir. Right now, me came by the one white room again.
Oh, yes?
No, sir. So when the PNP man...
What do you mean? The price gone up? The price gone up?
Things gone so bad, sir, that if the price even go up or go down, me not have no money to buy it.
Oh.
So if a PNP man didn't tell me lie, me can't tell the lady, say, sell me another room.
I'll follow you.
But, Sir P, this includes you too, sir. You and the two Gleaner people does not understand something, you know, sir. When the Prime Minister asked for a committee to investigate Mr. Ennis, talk to Mr. Ennis, she did the right thing, you know, sir.
Did she?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because I know she around the party. I side steer she again. So I wouldn't tell her to do.
I follow you.
I wouldn't tell her to do. She couldn't come.
That's why she said ask the PNP.
Exactly,
She
sir.
gave instructions. And when she was asked whether her instructions had been carried out,
she said
ask the PNP.
So nobody had to ask the PNP.
It is the PNP that will decide.
Yes, sir.
Whether her instructions are to be carried out. Is that it?
Sir.
I see. I never looked at it that way.
Oh, so no. She had to ask the PNP if she can call Mr. Ennis or she have to ask, and then them tell her, say, do this and do that. Because remember, Mr. Patson tell you already, you know, sir. Sister P is not them best chance, you know. Them only chance.
Yes.
So she have to take in, as I said before, a side steer Sister P at get. You see, right now, she don't know what she's doing. Nobody can tell. She can't tell.
But then if that is how she is looking, I would not expect it to be very impressive from the perspective of the Jamaican people. But still, I mean, depends on what the Jamaican people want.
Exactly, sir. Because, look here now. Up to now, Sister P can find out something where she do, you know, of herself. You know what I mean? As Prime Minister.
Yeah.
What has she done for this country? One reason about them now, them are quote out of context, or them won't talk what the good things she do, and she can't talk what good she do. You know? And I quarrel about what her husband gave her credit card and all them things. You see? I tell you something. You ever learn anybody to drive it, Mr. P? You ever learn anybody to drive it?
Yes.
Well, some of them hard to learn to drive, you know, sir. Well, she are one of the hard head to learn to drive, and I learn how to drive side steer she I get. This country, you know, Sir P, once ago, if I work $100, I would eat $40 and save $60. These days, me earn $100, me eat $99. Me not say $1 to Mr. Omar Davis can take it. Because certain as the night is following the day, there's going to be another meltdown.
You think so?
When he can't get in go behind fan no more bar, because you see I like this thing with the financial service things and the club there, sir. When him can't get no more money to borrow.
That is the problem as I see it.
Where am I going to want to take people money?
Yes, because if people are finding it possible to make the kind of profits that Olint is supposed to be offering, then they're not, if they can make 10% a month, I don't know whether that can be made steadily, but even 4 cents, 4% a month.
Yes, sir.
Right? He's going to have to lift interest rates very high to compete with that, you know.
Well, that is the problem, sir.
And they will be earning that in US dollars, right? And if you have assets in US dollars, you're not running the kind of risk that you run when you keep those assets in Jamaican dollars, right?
You see, another problem you see, Mr. Perkins, what Mr. Davis is afraid of is the interest rate that Olin is giving compared to the interest rate that Jamaica government paper is giving. People are going to take out their money out of the paper and go holding.
Well, I think
don't have the money.
I think it's already happening.
But that's why I'm barlow, because they don't have the money to give back the people.
My understanding is that when the the debt maturities as they come up.
Yes, sir.
People are not rolling them over again, or
and don't have them money to give them. So that's why close on holding is a plug, not plug something, you know.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
money.
The government has a problem, right? And they have to try to find some way of dealing with it. But the question is whether the arbitrary ways that in which the government acts, whether Mr. Ennis is not right in describing it as having a flavor of totalitarianism about it.
Well, this is one time I think a PNP man talk the truth and is Mr. Ennis now. Because I don't trust no PNP man. You see, right now, Sir P, if them call an election tomorrow, next week, or next year, I am of the opinion that PNP go and buy the election. You see all these overruns and these scandals and these money.
Yes.
I have a feeling those money, a big part of those money saved to go buy election.
Oh, yes?
I remember 1997 how they go on, you know, sir. And a lot of Jamaicans know this. They had their men a little way from the polling station. And then one man go up. He is a voter. Him going and him get him voter paper. Him don't vote and him don't drop it. Him come back out with it and him get up to the man, because him is a PNP man. The next man that is coming up the road to go vote, them call him. And they mark that blank vote where the demand it care back over them. They mark it to the PNP. Mark it good.
And give him.
And when he come back with him vote, because only one paper he can get to go around there now. When he go around there and drop that one, and him come back with the blank one, and then when he come back, then give him the $500.
I've heard of that method before.
Sir?
I say I've heard of that method before. I don't know whether it is that.
I saw it.
True.
I saw it. So, you see, the PNP is very good at cheating, scandals, and things like that. But they never, ever can run a government. You tell me one time when Jamaica rule under the PNP and Jamaica make any sort of progress.
Well, you're about to see that in the 5th term on the Sister P.
You believe in a reincarnation, sir?
What?
You believe in reincarnation?
Reincarnation?
Yes, sir.
Who is going to be reincarnated?
That's when Sister P and the PNP come back on earth for the second life. Anyway, Mr. Perkins, somebody else want to ask.
All right, sir.
Nice talking to you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All the best to you. We take a break. We come back shortly. Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. Hello?
Morning, Mr. Perkins.
Morning, sir.
I want to talk to you about the level of corruption that we are facing. I have a personal issue that I want to share with you, if you can help me with.
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, it's years I've been listening to you talking about how this country is really sinking in that very word, corruption. Corrupt.
Yes.
Now, I've been experiencing this from some years now, but I want to share this. I have an issue with a lawyer from 95. My father died and leaves some land and a little money with one of the Ministry of Government. I engaged
He left the money and the land with one of the Ministries of Government?
No, my father had this land and he leased it out, and the government came in, put in road, and they promised to give him a little money. So they give him half of the money. And he died, the lawyer that my father had died. I have to engage another lawyer to probate the will that my father left. That lawyer that I get to probate this will from 95, of that issue 10 years, Mr. Perkins, 10 years. When I see that this woman was going around, I asked her to give me back my papers. In fact, I asked her what she charged me, and she wouldn't tell me. And I asked her when we see the thing I run out, and I run so long, I said, give me back my paper. Anyway, she didn't return it. I have a problem with one of the witnesses that signed on they will. But that was really a problem that should take me 10 years. After 10 years, Mr. Perkins, this lady, finally, with the help of some outside help that I have from some friend by checking, she finally get through. She told me that when she get through, she would call me. I heard by a friend of mine who check out and tell me that the probate has come through, so I call her. I call her this September, only to find out that the thing has come through from the July. Now, Mr. Perkins, the inventory that she put in, the value for what she was probating on my behalf, at the time it's about 900,000, less than $1 million.
That was the value of the property?
That was the value of the money and the few lots of land that she was probating. That was, she puts in the inventory. Now this lady charging me $526,000. Of a rate she calls 6%. Now the present value of all of that, Mr. Perkins, is just about 4 million. It increased to, or maybe less, about 4 million. And as far as she's charging me now is like on a 7 million value. I write to the legal counsel to get some help to see if they could mediate between me and she about the fee and how she handled this whole matter. I write to the legal counsel in December the 22nd. They write back to me that I should put my complaint in a prescribed form. I did that and I give them May. Anyway, I got a letter July 11 stating that my issue has been discussed by a committee June 22, and they find no misconduct with this lawyer. I write back to the secretary of the legal counsel, Mr. Perkins, and I complained to her, and in fact, I went there personally a few weeks ago, and I told her specifically that the value and the inventory that this lawyer put in was there right before her and my complaint, and everything was there. Why is it the issue was not involved myself and she and have a proper discussion? She was saying to me, that is the secretary, that it seems as if they overlooked the point where the value, the fee was mentioned, and she would try to discuss this and see if the committee would go over it again. She said that they don't normally go over issue like that. Mr. Perkins, when I look on the level of injustice that is meting out to me in this matter, I told her in her office that I would go public with this, and I'm going to ask you, Mr. Perkins, if you could call that office.
Don't mention the office, sir.
It is the General Legal Counsel.
But the thing is this, sir, that when you were making your arrangements with her, you didn't agree on any fees.
But, Mr. Perkins, I asked her specifically about that. She make no mention.
No, right? No. Hold on a moment. Did you have an agreement as to what the fees would be for the work that you were asking her to do?
Well, that is what I was trying to get from her, and I was trying to get a specific agreement from her at the time what her fee would be to probate this will.
Yes.
She talked to me as if that wasn't of importance. She complained and said,
you accepted that?
Mr. Perkins, I am not a legal person.
No, but when you go into a shop and you see some goods there that you want, don't you ask the people how much for it?
Yes.
Well, if you want her to do work for you, right? You're not a man of limitless resources. So you want to know what it is going to cost you to do this, surely.
But Mr. Perkins, I've been told by a legal person that it is on the value at the given time that this fee is charged.
Yes. So did you have an agreement that she would charge you whatever it was, 5%, 10% of the value?
No. It's only what she write back and tell me, when me complain that it is a guess value she put the inventory on. And at the time, the whole value of the thing was not even reach $1 million, almost about 900. Now she's charging me $526,000, over $500,000 for something presently that I must value about less than $4 million.
Well, sir, let that be a lesson to you and to other people. If you are engaging the services of some person, you must find out what they're going to charge you, what it's going to cost you, and come to an agreement about it.
Mr. Perkins, if these are trained people in the law to guide us, right, who are not trained in the law, who don't have much knowledge of the law, and if this is the way they are treating people, I hear so much about these people, and I experienced two of it, the one that my father had before and she now. No wonder Jamaica is in this situation.
Well, Jamaican people must
train in the law to help guide people.
Yes, but Jamaican people must start to think.
Well, me think, man, because I asked her specifically what would be her fee. She refused.
Well, then you get up and take your papers and go about your business and find yourself another lawyer.
Sir Perkins, you're saying is harsh. What you're saying there is harsh.
Harsh? But you have to protect yourself.
But, oh God.
That is my view of it. I don't see what you're saying, that she's charging an unreasonable fee.
Yes, because the 526,000 is far above, based upon the 6% that she says she's charging.
It sounds a lot to me to probate a will for property that is, not worth very little more than that. But according to what you're telling me, she's taking about half of the value of the property.
And the time when I get her, the 10 years where she take, you could see that she deliberately doing these things to do me what she has now.
Well, I don't know about that part of it, but I don't know if the bar council is telling you that she has not done anything improper. Then I don't know where you go after that. Okay? I don't know what the answer to this one is, sir. All right?
You wouldn't have an answer to
No, I have no answer to it.
Mr. Perkins, maybe I have to call you back about some of the experience that I have with the department that I work with. With some abuse that is meeting out to me, but I'm not going to do it today.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. All the best to you. Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. Hello? Hello?
Willie.
Hi.
Remember, we're
Wait, you're becoming one of my most regular callers?
Exactly, because I have things to talk to.
Would you speak up a bit for me?
Do not bring up any politics, you understand?
Yeah, what?
Yesterday I spoke to you about help I'm getting for the people in Olympic Gardens, which does not belong to the JLP, belongs to both. I get the National Health Service to go in there Thursday because I happen to have brought upon the cases that the people do not know how to help themselves with diabetes, and I'm a diabetic. I got them their cards, I gave them out. I was on the radio yesterday saying that the National Health Services is coming to the church down there on Thursday, and that they should go and have themselves inspected for all these different things that they may not even know of. Would you believe I was asking for a little bed and I gave the lady's name who was going to receive it for me? And that poor lady was plagued all day by JLP people saying, I am not to come down there, and if I come down there, they're going to be waiting for me, and what they're going to do, and what they're not going to do. You see how vicious this election is going to be?
Where you get this from?
The woman called me this morning and panicked, why did I give out her number? I says, why? What has happened? Say, Miss D, them call me, they come to me gate, them cuss me, them tell me, say, you're on Perkins every day cursing Bruce Golding, and you talk about going about in Tivoli, and you now have to come to Olympic Gardens. Now, does Olympic Gardens belong to the JLP? Do you see why people get discouraged?
You know, man, I'm highly skeptical of stories like these, you know.
No, don't be highly skeptical. The people come to our gate.
Huh?
The people come to her gate.
I say there's a lot of propaganda swirling around.
No propaganda. This is a
and
girl.
I'm highly skeptical of them.
This is a girl I have known for years.
Yes.
A woman, not a girl. And this is what they have to say to tell me.
Yes, but it is so consistent with your own prejudices.
No.
That
you always make stories of it. That's
your own current prejudices. I mean, at one time, not so long ago, you wouldn't be telling me a story like this.
I am telling you a story
Your story would be going another way.
And you are not convinced that this is what's going to happen in an election. But so I will tend to stick to the PNP areas because I was helping Andrew because I like Andrew. But I didn't say exclude PNP. I don't know who's the PNP running down there. Right? But they don't want any help, because I talk against the JLP. Right? So you better get your gun out for election. If they can stop innocent people from getting help medically because they are JLP, right? How do they think they're going to get the government? By taking it over? They're not going to do that, I can tell you. And they're not stopping me. I am going there.
Yes.
And if they harm one bit of me, right? I am going to give them one clap in their mouth.
Oh, is that so?
Right. So don't send me.
Oh, so you have your people.
I don't have no people. I don't know who's the people I help. I didn't know whether they were JLP or PNP. I didn't ask them who they were.
Anyway,
you know, that's the way the people of Jamaica are led to believe. You are to hate one another because you're JLP interesting.
Yes.
And your PNP do not come. Or if you're sick and you're JLP and I'm in a PNP area, do not come. Why? What has that got to do with sickness?
When did it occur to you that this was happening?
I was speaking to you yesterday.
Yeah, no, I'm asking you. When did it occur to you that this was the way that the politics of Jamaica,
I thought they had
the politics of Jamaica was shaping people's lives?
No wonder Aid Abdoob walked the floor. No wonder Aid Abdoob crossed the floor.
Why did Aid Abdoob cross the floor?
Because the JLP is not the same JLP he knew. And not the one that I have known.
Is that why?
Yes, it's not the same at all.
It didn't have anything to do with the fact that his constituents didn't want him anymore. They wanted to get rid of him.
Nothing like that at all. When the JLP do not want you, they put the people up against you.
Hold on a moment. Did his constituents turn against him, saying that he had not...
You know, you don't understand politics.
Could I ask my question?
One word of politics.
Could I ask my question?
Portia set up a committee.
But you are defending... You don't...
this man. That's democracy. And you are cursing our fight. You should just tell the man, get out.
Who is that?
I said, Portia has set up a committee to investigate the situation with whatever the man's name is.
Mr. Ennis.
He's so unknown. Anyway, you're cursing her for it.
I'm not cursing. I did no such thing.
That is what you call democracy.
I did no such thing.
And she's showing the party
No.
democracy is.
What I was saying, what I was concerned about was that, you talk about democracy. Mr. Ennis is saying that this country is moving away from democracy. It is moving into totalitarianism.
To talk about, we have had enough people go down.
And Gestapo methods.
I went down with the pyramid scheme. So many people did. But instead of trying to protect them, because it's gambling, he's there trying to push it. He loves to take chances. Right? And the poor people love to make a no difference. But that's not what I'm here about. I'm here to tell those JLP in Olympic Gardens, and I have been going to the school for years giving out packages.
Hold on.
I have been doing good things down there. Whether it's JLP or PNP, the children, them go to the same school.
Well, you have to be careful, Mr. Ennis is still PNP, so far as we know. So
I don't know if he knows what he is.
Yes, but you can't turn against him.
But to him, taking a chance
he's a good PNP man.
Taking a chance on anything is his primary concern. We, the poor people, cannot afford that. I have been taken by it myself. People in Montego Bay have been taken by it, right? There should be no chance taken where people's very, very income that was put away for their old age.
So tell me something. Are you going to go help Mr. Dabnoo campaign out in Portland?
I am not campaigning. I speak to you on the radio. Even when my brother was in there, that I'm supposed to so deeply love that I don't like Bruce. You don't know how many people in there don't like him. I do not campaign. I do not go on platforms. I did not go up for Portia to hug me.
Okay.
My mouth is the radio.
Your mouth is the radio.
Right.
All right, Mom. Thank you very much. Okay, hello? Hello.
Morning, Mr. P. How are you doing?
Hi, not too bad. How are you?
I flip and I flop. I flip and I flop. But I'm rolling along. 3 wheels on my wagon, but I'm rolling along.
Yes, indeed.
I have one to give you. Last night it happened on your station. Last night at about 10 o'clock I was listening to Dear Doctor, Reverend Aaron Dumas's program.
Oh, yes,
And I heard a young lady of 21 called him and complained that a baby was found in St. Mary on a veranda, and the police came to her house and accused her that it's her baby. And she says, no, I don't have a baby. And they says, get in the Jeep. And they took her away. That's about 8 o'clock in the morning. And when they reached, I didn't get the station, but they told her to take her breast out and squeeze it in front of them, that they could see if any milk came from it.
I beg your pardon?
They told her, about 7 callers last night commented on it. One lady from England and one from Canada. The tape is in there on Reverend Dumas's program. The young lady was told to get her breast out, and she squeezed it in front of the 2 male constables, and they didn't see any milk. So they whisked her off to the hospital, took her in, and the doctor, whoever she saw, told them that she didn't have a baby yesterday or the day before or whatever. That finished. They took her back to the station, 8 o'clock in the morning. She wasn't released until 10 o'clock in the night.
Oh, hell.
They told her that they were going to take her to Castleton to lock her up. And when her father, when they brought her back from the hospital, her father came and they accused him that knowing he knows something about it, and in all probability could have It could have been her father who got her pregnant, and she left the baby at somebody's yard early Saturday morning, and they took her away.
This is after the doctor told them that she hadn't had a child?
That's right. That's right.
And they took her away where to?
They took her, that they taken her to Castleton to lock her away until she tell them what she know about the baby.
Yes.
Anyway, I don't know why they relent. During the time, somebody asked if there wasn't any police women there that could interview her or process her or whatever. She said, yes, there was a couple there who accused her of this other woman will throw away the baby and laughing at her. Last night, at least 7 callers. And if you check Dumas, here on Dumas's program,
I wonder if that story is really true.
I heard that last night. Dumas got her off the air and, got a number from her and an address.
Where was this happening?
This was happening in St. Mary.
Yes, what part?
I can't give you because I was a little bit unclear because I got up, sat down, and I listened. A lady called from England and said...
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. For the life of me, I wouldn't like to hear a repetition of that behavior. I am not saying that the young, I say young constable, because how could you take a 21-year-old girl and tell her to take out her breast, squeeze it in front of you to let you see if any milk is in it? You're not a doctor. You're not a medical doctor. If you want with her agreement, you cart her off to the hospital then, if you have suspicion. But the order to take off her...
But on what basis did they conclude that she might have had something to do with this child being left where it was?
I don't know, Mr. Perkins, but this is what I heard on my radio last night. I heard it on my radio around 10 o'clock, and from what I got, Dumas was livid. He was livid about it.
But look here.
And other people, a lady from England called, a man from Canada called, and about 5 other persons called. Now, that is not the behavior of civilized people.
But it's not just that.
Yes, sir.
I wonder what Mr. Ennis would think about it.
Well, that is it. That behavior. And that brings me to the wonderful cartoon that I saw in Sunday's paper. With one of the German with the Führer's SS on his shoulder, standing on Mr. Ennis is standing there against the chest and blocking the path from going there. What Mr. Ennis says is right, and I find myself agreeing with him, unconditional. You understand? If you're going to sacrifice freedom for justice, you neither deserve freedom nor justice. You deserve none of them.
But not only that, sir.
Yes, sir.
In the case of, and this is not the first time, this case that you're talking about.
Yes.
It is not the first time that I have heard of, in fact, almost every week you hear about it. That the police go and lock up some people, right? They have no direct evidence, it seems, that these persons were involved in or were guilty of any crime, right? They lock them up, and then they investigate and they find the evidence, they prosecute. They don't find the evidence, they let them go. It happens all the time. It is a standard police technique.
I don't know if you remember
Now, when you look at it in the light of what Mr. Ennis was talking about, right?
Yes, sir.
That is the methodology of a totalitarian state.
It is.
Right?
It is.
Because in any state where the citizen has rights, and including a right to his freedom, you can't take away his freedom or any other right of his without due process.
That's right.
Right? If you're going to lock him up, then you must have a good reason for locking him up.
That's right.
A convincing reason for locking him up. You don't lock him up and then go on and investigate to find out whether you have a reason for locking him up. Huh?
10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock in the night before they lose her, they took her back from the doctor, the hospital, and writing in the diary, and then lose her at 10 o'clock. From 8 in the morning to 10 in the night.
Well, you know, sir.
Over 14 hours. What really going on in this country?
You know, sir, if that young lady should seek the services of a lawyer, right? And bring this matter to the courts, and then we'll see what the courts do about it. But I don't see how you can lock up this woman and assault her in the way that you force her to take out her breast.
Yes, sir. Well, of course, she squeezed it in front of them. She squeezed the breast in front of them. And
she lucky they didn't grab it and squeeze it themselves.
Mr. Perkins, this is a serious business. I remember some years ago, a lady from Portland was in court, and they jailed her for not speaking up a rape victim.
For not what?
They remember they gave her a few days because she did not speak up loudly enough in the court.
Oh, yes,
you remember that case?
Yes, yes.
She did not speak up loudly enough. And instead of she as the victim, they put her inside.
Yes.
They put her inside. That. I remember the case vividly. You understand? No question about that.
Yes, sir. Well, that is the way that people are treated in this country.
You're going to hear more about it, I'm certain.
Yes. That's the way people are treated in this country, right?
Yes,
and we pretend. Look at the Gleaner and the Observer this morning.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Publishing editorials about about what Mr. Ennis had to say.
That's right.
And it doesn't occur to either of them that there may well be substance to what Mr. Ennis had to say.
Definitely.
And that if there is substance, that would be far more important to Jamaica and its people than whether Mr. Ennis remains a minister of the government.
True. That's right. Now, look, I listened on Saturday evening on 102 News. They bring a 5 o'clock news on Saturday evening. And I hear a report saying Mr. Wayne Jones is going to take legal action against the government because over $1 billion they have withdrawn from civil servants' pay.
Yes.
And they have not paid NIS, they have not paid housing trust, or none of the deduction over $1 billion. And they too, the government is subject to law.
Is it really?
Well, it should be.
It should be. Well, what should be and what is are not necessarily one and the same.
Over $1 billion and civil servant retire and can't get the pension because no payment is there for some of them.
Yes, let me tell you something. This is something that I don't understand.
Yes.
Because as a matter of principle, if the government, if I am employed to you,
yes,
and the government passes a law which requires you to make deductions from my salary.
That's right.
Then it would seem to me that you're not acting on my behalf.
True.
To deliver payments to the government. You're acting on the government's behalf to collect payments from me.
That's right.
Now, if you don't pay the government, I don't see how the government can look to me and tell me that, well, because this man didn't pay me, then you have to, either that you are going to have to go pay them, you have a responsibility, I have a or that because you haven't paid, I cannot get benefits that I would ordinarily be entitled to.
Well,
I really don't understand that.
That was the gravamen of the report.
Yes.
That was it. So, when I hear
and when it is the government itself that is doing this makes it 1,000 times worse.
That's right. Now, let me digress a bit because I want to tell you about this one that I heard from South Africa. South Africa has put on hold, has suspended the building of an hospital because they have to complete a stadium for 2010 World Cup football. Didn't you hear that one on the BBC?
No, I didn't.
They have suspended finishing the hospital in South Africa because the money is needed for the World Cup stadium for the football. Now, where we have something in common here with them.
Absolutely.
We have something in common here.
Absolutely.
Because they're spending billions. And this is a foregone conclusion. They can fight until the cows come home. It will be a flopnik. It will be a flopnik.
But look here, no?
Because they have left it late.
Look here.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard of anything like that happening in any European or any North American country?
It don't happen. It just don't happen.
Huh?
And then some little imbecile is going to tell me about because we're black.
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether it has anything to do with our being black. I doubt that very much.
Tell me that load of rubbish.
But the thing is this.
I don't buy.
No, but the thing is this, sir.
Yes, sir.
That in our countries, things like that happen. Right?
It happened?
Because the people are thought so little of.
So little of.
We have had hospitals that have been in disgraceful conditions for years.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
When didn't they have any money to put them in order?
Right.
But now that Cricket World Cup is coming on, and we're going to have some visitors from abroad, we have to make preparations for the hospitals to be in good order just in case any one of them needs treatment. And roads that could not be fixed, and whatever else. Police stations that were in a mess, right? These are being looked after for the convenience of the Cricket World Cup visitors, right?
Yes, sir.
But as far as the convenience of the Jamaican people is concerned, forget that.
Forget that. Nobody loves cricket more than me. I hear a man come on your radio talking about cricket.
Hold on a moment. Okay, thank you very much. Back with you.
Yes, Mr. P. I love cricket. I have gone to nearly every ground in Jamaica. I mean, from Madman Ground on Windward Road to Chedwin Park to Emmett Park, all over the place.
Yes.
In England, I've been to Hove in Sussex. I've been to Lord's 1963. I've been to Harrogate in Yorkshire. I've been to Western Supermare in Somerset, Bristol in Gloucestershire. I've been to every cricket ground that I could possibly go. And I love cricket. And as nobody says, I am a killjoy, I don't like cricket. I love cricket to the depths of my heart. But when you take $7 billion and spend it, and we're not getting anything, our hospital is in a mess. Our education is in a mess. Our police station is in a mess. And then you're telling me a lot of poppycock? You rolling out a lot of rubbish to me?
We have a problem, sir, sorting out our priorities. Right? We don't know, we have, it seems, no reliable way of determining what is important and what is not quite so important. DNA in civilized country, England, Canada, America, take 3 days. 3 days. And you get the result. Yeah.
In Jamaica, it's a month.
Yes.
1 month. Because we haven't got the proper equipment.
Yes.
And then you're telling me rubbish? What they're telling us? We are in trouble. Things continue to fall up.
We're lucky. You're lucky that they didn't seek to get sort of DNA samples and match it with the babies in the case of that woman.
True.
Because she would still be in jail, wouldn't she?
She would be. A bit crude because young girls must understand that they don't expose the breast to people ordering them to open your breast, let me see it. I want to see if any milk in it.
Yes, but she was in a situation, doubtless she was terrified.
I can imagine. And I think even the fellows who tell her to do it, they must be petrified too. They must be, because I don't think that we're there in the right senses.
Well, I don't know, sir.
They must be like the men them that when I used to buy penny madman ball down Paradise Street, I used to climb up on the wall and buy penny madman ball. And if you throw the penny before the ball come over, the madman walk away with your penny and say you should be inside and I outside. Mr. P. Thank you.
All right, all the
Very
best
good.
to you. Okay, hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Perkins, good morning.
Morning to you.
I'm just trying to confirm what the gentleman told you.
About
last night.
the woman.
Yes. And she's from St. Mary, and she didn't went back home until 1 o'clock in the morning. That's the only way he missed.
Well, I think, Mum, that this is another instance of Gestapo methodology.
Of course it is.
Right? That does not happen in any self-respecting,
Not at all.
democratic,
Telling you.
freedom-loving country.
Not at all.
Right? That woman was entitled to her freedom.
Of course.
If she had done something, if there was evidence that she had done something which justified taking her into custody, well, that is one thing.
Yes, take
right?
her in and then let the doctor
But they can't
look at
just
her.
they can't just go lightly taking her into custody because she's really not important. She don't really matter.
No.
Right?
Oh boy. All right, Mr. Perkins.
I wonder if they would have taken one of Sister P's relatives like that.
They would do anybody's own.
Eh?
Anybody apart from their relatives.
But that is because the people in the country accept it.
Yes.
You know? Who is going to get upset about this girl? What happened to her?
Dr. Dumas, he was so upset.
Yes. And how many others?
A lot of people called him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a lady from England called. A lot of people was upset.
Well, what people need to is to do something about it.
I think he took her number and her name.
Right?
I was going to get in touch with her today. I don't know.
Well,
the lady was mad from England.
I think she needs legal advice.
That's what he told her.
He told her that. Yes. And, well, I think that we should all be prepared to make contributions towards that, right? And get that matter to the Privy Council if necessary.
I'm telling you. Anyway, Mr. Perkins, thank you very much
for
listening to me, and you have a good day.
You're welcome, Mom. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
How are you? I can barely hear you, man.
Is that so?
All right, I'm hearing you a little better now.
Okay, all right.
I'm calling from far out, you know.
From far out?
Yes.
Where the hell is far out?
This morning, on your early Hot 106 program, we were told by the host of the program that we are going to be having the Honorable Minister Peter Phillips.
Yes, I heard that.
You heard that? And
he didn't turn up.
He was scheduled for the slot normally reserved for Farm Talk.
Yes.
This is my favorite program.
Yes.
But lo and behold, Mr. Phillips didn't turn up.
Oh, I wonder why.
I will never hear any apology for anything. No, you
explanation? Any explanation?
Well, we never hear anything from the host. The program just continues just like that.
Is that so?
And we miss our favorite Farm Talk. He tried to fill in. I'll tell you what he tried to do. But you ever see Garfield on the TV? The cat Garfield?
Yeah.
That cat belonged to me, you know, Mr. P.
Oh, yeah?
Garfield, and he has the tendency of not waking up early in the morning.
Yes.
Yes, very late. And when I see the minister never turn up, I thought about the attitude of Garfield. But Garfield has another characteristic. He has this striking resemblance of the minister. Sir? So, and please don't change it, Mr. Perkins. Remember what I'm saying. I'm not saying the minister resembles Garfield. I'm saying Garfield resembles the minister.
Oh, I see. All right. I don't know what difference it makes.
Hello?
But it's all right. I
Yes.
don't know what difference it makes, but...
So what I'm going to do is to change my cat name
Uh-huh.
to Peter. Well, anyhow,
Yes.
on the program this morning, the host was trying to say it was almost nonsense, the exercise that the PAC was going through,
Uh-huh.
and that we are not to expect anything great from it.
Uh-huh.
There are other serious matters that we could move on to.
Mm-hmm.
But Mr. P,
$43 million is US.
I tell you,
$43 million US
and
is monkey money.
is monkey. But he looked on what was going on, and he didn't point out that if the PAC was able to identify who, whether it was carelessness or whatever, that is responsible for that level of overrun, that person was to be the responsibility of getting back the money from that person.
Yes.
Yes, he didn't thought of that. But Mr. Perkins, who was the on-the-spot project manager for that thing? You know?
Yes, my understanding is that it was Mr. The $2 billion overrun man.
No.
What's his name again?
All right,
Stewart. Alston Stewart.
Okay. No, I think you're on the ball with that.
Yeah.
No.
You better shut your damn mouth. You better shut your damn mouth.
I have never heard, Mr. P, and I hope that was the situation, because I hear the rumor that there was the way of remunerating this person. Somebody set up something that they thought would have been would have driven the person to be cost efficient.
Yeah.
And what was set up was to pay the person 3% of the cost of the project.
Oh.
Then, Mr. Perkins, you ever hear anything can go like that?
Well,
if you pay the person, I would imagine that you'd pay the person to cut the cost.
But that evidence was given?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yesterday?
That was given yesterday.
Are you sure of that?
No, I don't know if I'm saying I heard. I'm not speaking to what happened yesterday.
Oh.
I'm saying that I heard, and I hope it is not right, that the way the incentive given to the person who was running the project is to give the person...
Well, let us not go too far with that.
All right.
We don't know whether it is true.
Well, it's hearsay, Mr. Perkins. Now, on the program the morning before, we had the gentleman from NWA, National Work Agency.
Yes.
And somebody was complaining about the number of potholes. Potholes all over the place. That's the number one thing. And the person remind us of the days of the Public Works Department, when they used to have a unit that would go around and fill all these little holes. Whereupon Mr. Shaw says they have some 5 units, patching units.
Yes.
No, I don't know if you ever noticed how those units work. I think they are paid task work.
Hold on a minute for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
This one about the pothole.
Yes.
May seem very simple, but it is costing the country a hell of a amount of extra money. So please listen to me careful. Have you ever seen the patching unit do a round pothole that when they finish, it is they fill it out and they look round? You never see that. It is squared. It is always either an oblong or square pothole, right?
There was a time when you used to see round ones.
Yes, but that was the time when those people that existed then could work out the area of a circle.
Oh.
So because you can't work out the area of a circle, somebody goes first, identify the pothole, Then a team with pickaxe goes and square them or oblong them. And then you fill it because they need to quantify how much square feet or square meter of work is done.
Cubic.
No, not cubic.
What?
Well, cubic. I think it's square because you're not filling. It could be cubic in some because based on the depth.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. It could be the cubical content based on the depth. But
so they don't know how to work out the area.
They don't know how to work out the area. So each pothole. Don't laugh, Mr. Perkins. This is serious, you know. Each pothole. But
it's quite simple to teach them how to do it.
Yeah, but each pothole is increased by 3 1/7 the area of the pothole.
I see.
You realize pi? That's pi. I mean, if you're working out the thing, you have to correct. You correct a circle. If you're going to do a circle, and it's the radius of the circle.
Pi r square.
Pi r square. But you come from the good school, sir. Yes. So they ignore that because you just want to get the square, right?
Yeah.
And every time they do that, they are increasing both my labor and the cost of the material by 3 1/7 whatever exists there.
Yes.
It's a very serious thing. I'm calling upon Mr. Shaw to first of all, I don't know, seeing as he has not said anything about it and he is in charge, first to apprise himself as to how you work out the area of circles, and then to have some lessons with those people out there that are working in the National Work Agents to work out, because you're putting on 3 1/7 more material, and whenever you try to square a hole, that was wrong. So I'm very serious about that one, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
Finally, in St. Anne,
yes,
the roundabout just by when you enter in the St. Anne's Bay Hospital, there is a gully below the bridge. Formerly, the bridge used to be blocked because it was done by, the arch was done by a brick, a small waterway. So the water coming from whatever and debris coming up from the civil property used to block the bridge. If you're coming from Runaway Bay on the right-hand side. But below the bridge, we never, ever have a problem. Right? Mr. Perkins, you talk about money spent on the Highway 2000. So we call it?
Yes.
Yes. I estimate that over $200 million, could be more not less, has been spent on the area below the bridge. First of all, every unit.
$200 million.
Yes, or more.
When you say below the bridge.
Yes.
You mean
the area leading to the sea.
Yes.
Yes, which has never ever been a problem. First, they clean it out. Then they mat it with 5/8 and 3/4 steel. They plait it 4 by 4 inches, right? And they mat that out. They put on a layer of stuff. They put on another area matted with the same steel, and then they go up to the side goes up about 4 or 5 feet. 5/8, 3/4 steel matted at 4-inch square. All right, and then I don't know who did the survey, but when they did the bottom, the grade should have hit the sea right about sea level or a little above sea level, so that if debris is coming down, it washes right into the sea. No, it hit the sea below the sea level. So you're going to have an automatic backup there. But worse than that now, I thought that $200 million for that work was enough. They are now doing the backfill of the wall they put up. And Mr. P, they have a bulldozer and some other unit there. They put in 1 foot of earth, and then the roller come and compact it.
1 foot of earth?
Yes. This is backfilling. I've never seen backfilling done so expensive. So you're backfilling the thing, and you put in and you roll it. You put in another foot, the roller goes on it and roll it. You put in another foot, the roller goes on it and roll it, Mr. P. In a place that never give a problem. Right? They completed one side now, and believe you me, that side really look good. I believe some Central people could be excited about it. Those who want to fly plane and land plane. Look good over that side. They haven't gone over to the other side yet. But I'm saying I heard a rumor that the North Coast, these people running the thing, it looks to me that is them looking for work, and when they do it, they're sending a bill. On the side of the road now, yesterday, to my surprise, on the south shoulder.
Yes.
I don't know who's going to provide those units instead of people cutting it or spraying the roadside. They are leveling it. Now, you know what they used to level it now, Mr. Perkins?
What?
So that tractors can cut the grass that is going to grow. They're using the best topsoil ever.
Oh.
Where you had the mall to catch the grade against the roadside. You know, it has a little fall there. And that will slow the growth of grass. Maybe you'll cut it once every 6 weeks or so. They are putting on soil in it. Topsoil. Rich topsoil. So that you're going to have the grass growing more profusely. I'm not joking, I'm happy.
So, yes. So what? That man can reap it to feed it?
Yes, so that those units, because I don't know, I saw a couple of them trying to cut it. Right? So those units with a flail at the back and the tractor, the equipment at the back, will be able to run and cut it nicely. And you will have it so frequent, I believe they're going to have to run it every week or every 2 weeks. Because the nutrient value of the topsoil that I see being put there, grass is going to go more profusely than even my farm. I tell you. So these are some of the nonsense, unfortunately, and your station morning program, when the gentleman comes on, we don't get enough time to speak to him. And if you speak to him, nothing is done. Right? I won't hold up more of your time. There's another big thing happening in Central, but I'll need some more time to tell you where the National Work Agency is monitoring a project in Central. The Parish Council can't touch it. The NWC agent down here can't touch it. Decisions are coming from Kingston, and right now the developer is minding less than almost at the roadside, jeopardizing a type of soil profile that little more I can't come to my yard.
Where is that project, sir?
Sir?
What project is that?
There's a housing project, sir. Let me just tell you. All right. Seeners, you have a little time, 2 minutes more?
Very little, not a lot.
Okay. Well, you have a very little time. This project, every known environmental breaches have been committed. On this project. This project was turned down by the Central and Parish Council. The developer appealed to the minister. The minister upheld the decision, upheld the thing in favor of the developer. And so now, the Parish Council don't have anything to do with it. None of the implementing agency, it is lands that the agricultural the Ministry of Agriculture should make an input. No input from the Ministry of Agriculture. No input from the National Water Commission, resulting in directives coming directly from Kingston. And every breaches, has been committed there. But I won't hold up I won't speak to that, because if I speak to the name of the project for the time being, I will have to go in depth and tell you everything about it, and time don't allow.
I see.
But I will call you back on that one.
Look forward to that.
That minister with that responsibility don't have the integrity, or shouldn't think that he has the integrity to investigate anybody else.
Oh, come on.
But I will talk to you more.
Don't say that. Okay. That brings us to time for the news. We'll be back here in about 20 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. We're trying very hard to get Mr. Douglas Pippit. We hear that he has been on a radio program since morning talking about a matter of some interest. We're trying to get hold of him. Okay, in the meantime, we go back to the phones. Hello? Hello, yes?
Yeah.
Hello?
Another caller come through, Bobby. Another call.
What the hell is going on? Hello?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, I want to tell you that I have a matter with the OUR.
Uh-huh.
They were investigating a matter for me.
Uh-huh.
And they have done fairly well.
Yes?
The Water Commission, it appears, have sent us some fictitious bills
Uh-huh.
to members of the Citizens Association that I'm the leader for.
Uh-huh.
And these bills, we have sent them back to the Water Commission, asking them to make a refund where it is proven that's the right thing to do.
Yes.
The OUR has been helping, but the fact of the matter is they have, from all appearances, violated the time frame for making these refunds. And I'm very agitated about it, and I can't wait on the OUR any longer. I don't know what is holding up the refunds.
I beg your pardon, I don't understand this. The OUR has violated the time frame for making the refunds.
No, the Water Commission.
Huh?
The Water Commission.
The Water Commission.
OUR gives us
Oh, I see. They ought to have made them.
Yes.
And have not.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And the OUR, which has been helping me in the lobby to get the refunds, not happening in time.
All right, but then hold on a little bit. You're still getting water from the Water Commission? Huh?
The persons that I represent are getting the water in a very ad hoc way, maybe 2 days per week, and each of those 2 days it comes for about 3 hours.
Uh-huh. But you still are going to find Water Commission bills coming to you. So all you have to do is deduct what they owe you from what you owe them, if it comes to that. Am I right?
Yes, something like I set off.
Yeah. But I don't understand why people put up with these things, So we're talking about, we're in the 21st century. This government has been in office for 18 years. I hear Sister P talking about the importance of people having water and what she's going to do to get them water and so on and so forth. But, this government has had 18 years in which to look about all that.
Well, we are thinking of writing overseas to get funding to give to the Water Commission to overhaul the Seaview plant.
To get funding where from?
From the European Union or wherever on the globe we can get funding. Because they said the Seaview plant the capacity is not good.
Look here, so
nothing can be done about that.
The people in the European Union get the money.
I don't know.
They work hard for it. Right?
So what are we going to do? These people get water.
We can't work hard for us.
These people in Faithhome Road of Stony Hill get water 2 days a week for 3 or 4 hours a day.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't know, sir. But it rains in Jamaica very often quite heavily. Right?
Yeah.
And years ago, before all this Water Commission thing was, spread all over the country, people in parts of the country, in places like St. Elizabeth, where, bear in mind, the rainfall is low, right? It has one of the lowest rainfalls in the country. But people in those areas used to have tanks, right? And they'd collect the water off their roofs. And when people in Kingston can't bathe, anybody in an area like that is depending on a tank rather than on the Water Commission, has a far more regular water supply than people get in many places from the Water Commission.
Uh-huh.
Right? So I don't know why this great emphasis on the Water Commission. You can get water. Mark, you have a problem of cleaning the water, making sure, if you drinking it and so on, you boil it and whatever.
Yes, and I suppose what is the inhibiting factor is because I think the initial capital to put the tank, whether it's an elevated tank off the ground that is gravity feeded, you're going to need a pedestal to put it on. You're going to need to purchase the tank, and these people, I'm not sure, are able at their level of income to come up easily readily with the initial capital outlay that is needed to.
Maybe that is a problem, but I'm not sure it is a problem. It is not a problem that can be overcome for the man who has the kind of income that he is able to provide himself with a house or something. He has a farm, whatever, right? Yeah. Or neighbors.
The other thing, Mr. Perkins, is that you promised to get somebody on from the coffee to speak about the dilemma of the farmers. Could you please keep trying on that?
Keep coffee board. From the coffee board?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Look here, it's not easy for us getting these people, you know that.
Huh?
I say it isn't easy for us, but we're going to try.
Yes.
I'd forgotten about it.
All right.
Mm-hmm. All right?
All right. Then.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Okay, hello? Hello?
Mr. Perkins?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. And Happy New Year. Not Happy New Year. Wish you New Year.
Thank you very much. Very same to you.
Yes. Because I don't know if you hear this thing on the radio last night. There's a woman at 21. She said a man come out or come in and find a baby on his veranda. And he go and report it to the police.
Yes.
The police come to her house and tell her, ask her what happened to the baby. She said, which baby? He said, the baby. He said, I don't know baby. I'm never pregnant. And she was calling her father. Saying about her father, they gone. Anyway, before them go, her father come. And before the father come, those policemen demands the girl to take out her breast and be squeezing it to prove it to them. That is not their job, sir, for a police. That is not their job for them to order her to take out her breast and squeeze it to see if milk coming out of it. Well, if anyway, she said she did it, and them see no milk no come out.
Yes. We actually had a call about it earlier on.
Yes.
Right?
Now, I believe, because similar thing happened to me.
Oh?
Similar thing happened to me,
Is that so?
That's what I believe. Because the police take away my children, them, and go lock me down and broke me on in handcuffs to the park. I'm not hiding it, man.
Oh, yes?
Yes. And give them to the mother. And the mother run with them. And then I come out and go to hospital and thing, and I say, no, so if you take it to the judge, Yes. And when the judge sent me off, now, to go and look for her, she must be in some hospital or the other, and I couldn't find her. A couple of weeks ago, the police from Clement, those are nice nice police we're telling about, called me and tell me that she dead. At that time, them knew where she dead, I too, because they was helping me looking for her. And at that time, them knew where she dead because she didn't move from where them there. So after the judge sent me 3 children, and I got to take the children. She was about to bury. So I just allowed them to attend the funeral. And when both me and the police go back, they said they send them to Montego Bay if we spend time. And 2 years now, sir. 2 years now.
You can't find them yet?
I can't find my children.
Hold on for a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back with you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, you haven't yet got the children?
Up to now, because I got on back to doing a party, and one going to tell me, say, I will never see them until I'm 18-year-old. And imagine, my children won't take away from me from government because all the inspector in St. Andrew, she cut up about those things, you know. Yes. You see, so there's a lot of good police, you know, regardless. The 1 and 2 really spoil the name of police. Because if I stand out the street, even half for Mr. Perkins, people have to ask me if I work with police. Because they don't pass me. Because I'm well be known to everybody. Because when the man lock me down, you know. Other police come and buy things, food and things, you know. And yes, I'm going to look for him and tell him to come pull me. The man looking at my face and say, you know, can't go and be my boy, kill me, what's it.
Oh my God.
That's it. But so some of the police, they just have feelings and take side, especially with the woman. But, you know, I can press it. I could press it, and I can press it because at times I can do it. But I'm going to leave it to God. I'm going to see me and them, sir.
Oh, yes?
I'm going to live to see me and them. Yeah, man.
You know, God have him work doing, you know.
Definitely.
God not lazy him working hard up there.
But some people believe God put on pajama and go on a bed.
Yes. But and therefore that them can, all them have to do is pray and wake him up and pray.
You see, because,
and he will do the work for them.
Because, them say, Sister B, to intervene to run off them people of the land here.
Yes.
Why they don't say Sister P if you intervene, if you look after those women with both police or civilian may hurt and all the rest of it? Why they don't say like that? You see? So, I think they're giving Sister P a wrong message, you know.
Yes.
Because everybody have to live, and where it is concerned, most men, I hear plenty man say, they prefer run to the gunman more than to the police, you know.
Oh, yes?
Yes, plenty man say that. It's only because then I have a good, strong strength and believe in the police. I love the police. Yes. You see, in spite of some of them do dirty work. But you can't really take the bad apple. To really spoil the whole bag, you know?
All right.
So I'm just going to leave it right there and God will work upon it, sir.
All right, okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. And I hope you get back your children soon.
Yes, sir, well, from God, sir.
Okay, hello? Hello?
Uncle.
Hi, wait. How are you?
Why? What a way you enjoy yourself, man.
With what?
The Prime Minister invite the journalists them to lunch yesterday. And I saw like a clipping on it on the TV. And I saw somebody, the dead looks of you.
Who is that?
But when I look good, it was Mr. John Maxwell.
What are you saying, that Mr. Maxwell looks like me?
You understand?
What are you saying, that Mr. Maxwell and I have a resemblance?
Maybe my eyes is getting bad.
I think something has gone wrong with your eyes.
But you saw it though. You saw it where the Prime Minister invited journalists them to lunch though.
But so I gathered. I mean, I heard about this on the news yesterday afternoon.
And she make a pledge that once in every 2 months, she'll be meeting with the journalists them.
That's fine.
You understand me?
Absolutely wonderful.
And a lot of them were there, you know.
Yes, so I gather.
Were you invited?
No, of course not. Why would you expect me to be?
But they seem to have a very nice time, though.
Well, that's fine.
At Jamaica House, and the lunch seemed to be well, you know?
Yes.
So,
that's fine.
Yeah, I understand.
And they will have it what? Once in
every 2 months.
Oh, good.
And what good?
I take it that that the president of the Press Association was there.
Well, I know I saw a lot of them there, Mr. Perkins. And the glasses around the table, they would look very beautiful.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, man. And John was smiling off his face, man. It was a nice... but what did she say to them yesterday, Mr. Perkins?
Don't ask me, I don't know.
I hear Owen James was saying that he asked the Prime Minister a question.
Yes, I heard the mention of that.
Yeah,
but apart from that, I didn't hear any.
Right.
The Prime Minister didn't seem to have said anything. Either that or what she said was confidential.
Oh, I think she said that her office is understaffed.
Yes, something like that.
And she having problem recruit qualified persons.
Yes.
Because of the salary. And people want her to attend everything, even a domino game.
Yeah, she did say that. Or she was reported as having said that. But when you asked the question, I thought that perhaps you were wanting to know what of any importance she might have said.
You understand? But the other interesting...
The Prime Minister is developing a way of talking trivia,
But I heard you play a clipping yesterday.
Yes.
As she saying that she loves her bed very much.
Yes. And she like her house and, we eat her or whatever and so on. So she doesn't like traveling, But she has managed to travel, what is it, 12 times since she became Prime Minister?
But as you talk about the travel.
Well, 12 times in 7 months, I think
right.
it was.
Mr. Patterson has spent, 1 million in 4 years?
In 4 years.
Right. Ms. Simpson has spent over 10 million in 7 months.
So if she goes at that rate, in 14 months, she would have... 14 months?
Yes.
Which is 1 year and 2 months.
Yes.
She would have spent what Mr. Patterson spent in 4 years.
In 1 year and 4 months. Yes, she would have spent twice what Mr. Patterson has spent in 4 years.
Well, maybe what is happening here. I have a theory, that Michael Manley wanted PJ to succeed him. Right? Because he was very concerned about what his reputation was going to be like among the Jamaican people. And he believed, I think, that that after a few years of PJ, people would say, boy, Michael Manley wasn't all that bad after all,
You're not saying the same thing about Miss Simpson now.
I beg your pardon?
You're not going to say the same thing about Miss
Well, I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder whether Mr. Patterson was desperate to have Miss Simpson succeed him.
The other interested piece of news...
And for a similar reason.
The other interested piece of news, Mr. Perkins...
Yes.
...is that the information minister, after the cabinet meeting on Monday, is telling us that the cabinet is disassociating themselves from Mr. Ennis' comments.
Yes. The cabinet.
Yeah?
The cabinet.
The cabinet.
Is disassociating themselves from it.
From Mr. Ennis.
Well, what does that mean? That's I tell you something. These journalists, if I had been at that post-cabinet press conference, and Mr. Buchanan said that, I would have to ask him to explain what he means by that.
Exactly.
Right? Because what is the matter whether the cabinet is disassociating itself from what Mr. Ennis said? The question is, the question that is of importance to the people of Jamaica is whether what Mr. Ennis said, or to what extent what Mr. Ennis said was true.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly, Mr. Perkins.
Which neither the Gleaner nor the Observer seems to understand.
Exactly, Mr. Perkins. But, Mr. Perkins, one of the most interesting piece of news yesterday, as we always said that your program always ahead of things and other.
Oh, is that so?
Mr. Dabdu crossing the floor yesterday.
Yes. Mr. Dabdu has been crossing the floor for some time.
On your program, we have been saying that he have to cross before certain announcement can make.
Yeah.
But they have an interview with Mr. Dabdu, Mr. Perkins. And he was saying if Mr. Golding should become Prime Minister of Jamaica,
yes,
it will be what disaster was. Mr.
Yes,
Perkins.
You know, sir, people in politics say all kinds of things and contrive to get people to believing all kinds of things.
Mr. Perkins,
yes,
can you remember in some years ago Mr. Dabdu actually said the same thing about Mr. Siaga? Can you really remember at one time he come out and say something?
Well, I believe that I remember vaguely that there was some, friction between them.
Right.
But I don't remember him saying that.
And he find his way right back. He say he was a member of the Labour Party for 45 years. Over 40 years.
I think I heard that, yes.
Mr. Perkins. Honestly speaking, no, Mr. Perkins. Do you really think
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay. We're back online. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Perkins. May I ask you this?
Before you ask that, let me tell you something. A friend of mine just called me to tell me that he heard Mr. Douglas, your friend Pip Pip,
yes, sir,
on another radio station,
yes, sir,
saying that the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Local Government was held up. His computer and documents having to do with the audit of parish councils was held up, was taken away.
Yeah.
The inquiry into the parish councils, and that the auditor who is doing, in a separate incident, the auditor doing an audit of the St. Thomas Parish Council,
yes, sir,
that he was held up and the documents taken away. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I was wondering, what, you don't believe?
I get about 2 phone calls that you were on that program, as you say, discussing these things.
Oh, you heard about it?
Yes, man. I heard about it for morning.
Yes?
But, Mr. Perkins,
I think the election is coming quickly,
Mr. Perkins, I think I heard you saying that you're trying to get him to have a discussion with him about it. Make I leave it until when you get him.
Do what?
Make I leave my opinion until when you get him.
Oh, I see.
to discuss it, But, Mr. Perkins, with our years of experience, things like these at this time does not surprise us.
Yes.
We expect things like these, right? So don't make it be surprising to you and so.
Well, if they couldn't find another traffic bureau in the or a traffic bureau in the parish council,
yes, sir,
then I don't know, it would be a good thing if the papers were all stolen.
But what I really want to ask you, Mr. Perkins, is that the PNP said they upset Mr. Dabdu.
That they what?
They upset Mr. Dabdu yesterday.
He has been accepted as a member of the party.
Yes. Mr. Perkins.
And he's now sitting on the government side of the
looking at the TV last night, Mr. Dabdu seemed to be shaking off.
Seemed to be what?
Shaking off. His hands is shaking.
Yes.
And you get the impression this is somebody way in his 70s. He's saying 62, but he's far older than that.
You think so?
Nothing, sir.
No, man.
He's far older than that.
No, I think he's about 62.
You think so? All right. Mr. Perkins, what will Mr. Dabdo bring to the PNP?
I beg your pardon?
What, after spending 40-odd years in the GLP, what would he able to bring to the PNP, Mr. Perkins?
Well, I don't know. I gather that, well, at least he knows by now that if you do not, if you represent people as an MP, and you do not do a good job of it, the people might kick you out. Right? I mean, most other MPs would have sort of heard about that, and, you know, he has had the experience.
Because he is saying, Mr.
Mark, I hear him blaming Mr. Or so it seems that he's blaming Mr. Golding for it, but, you know, I don't know what Mr. Golding had to do with it.
Because certainly, Mr. Perkins, the things I'm not speaking for the Labour Party, but the things in
Not
which...
now. Not now.
No, man, no, sir. The things in which he accusing the Labour Party of, Mr. Perkins, and he runs to the PNP now because he's saying that the PNP is more friendly.
Yes.
And the PNP is more believe in democracy. You understand me? But he seems to forget.
He's saying that the PNP is more devoted to democracy.
Right, because when he goes to the PNP meetings, they just don't believe in free food and drink.
I see.
You understand me?
But Mr. Ennis, who has far greater experience of the PNP than
going, Mr. Perkins. That is where I were going, Mr. Perkins.
Mr. Ennis is saying that the PNP has totalitarian inclinations.
Exactly. You understand me? Mr. Ennis is like fish coming from sea bottom. You understand me?
Yes.
So, Mr. Ennis...
Tell you say shark down there, you better believe him.
Mr. Ennis, who born and grow in the house in which Mr. Dabdo is running to, is saying a totally different thing, Mr. Perkins. You understand me? And it just tell you, Mr. Perkins, say, these people, they are just in the thing for power, Mr. Perkins. The people is not important to them. And that is the reason why Mr. Dabdo run. This is what? Northwest St. Catherine? That this is why he run from his seat in St. Catherine.
He didn't run from the seat. The people said they didn't want him.
Yes! Because he were facing a challenge for the chairmanship from Mr. Gregory Meir.
Yes.
And because he knows there's no chance of retaining it, then he start to cry out. You understand me? And then now he start to complain about a party after spending 45 years, Mr. Perkins.
Like what?
45 years.
Yes.
After he spent 45 years in the Labour Party, these are the...
Well, you know, sir, the welcome that Mr. Dabdo has been given into the party, the party, PNP is entitled to have whomever it wishes, as is the Labour Party, I suppose. But when you consider the time that Mr. Dabdo has spent in active politics, you know, he's been a member of the House for what, 2 terms now?
Yes, sir.
2 terms.
Yes, sir.
Right? And his constituents have thrown him out. They don't want him.
They don't want him because of poor performance.
They say his performance is poor.
Very poor.
On the other hand, in the time that Mr. Dabdo has been in Parliament, what is it memorable that he has said or done in his capacity as a parliamentarian?
Mr. Perkins.
And therefore, when the PNP is hugging Mr. Dabdo, as it is.
Yes.
I mean, Lady Huggins was there too.
Yes.
What is it that the PNP is welcoming into the party?
Mr. Perkins,
You know?
it gained to take the PNP.
I beg your pardon?
It gained to take Mr. Dabdoo another 45 years to answer the first question he asked about his performance in Parliament. He will never be able to answer that one. And then I ask you the question, Mr. Perkins, as somebody who born in Portland. If you did have your vote in West Portland and Mr. Dabdoo turn up as a candidate, would you vote for a man like that after running from a seat with such a record of
Well, if the people in St. Catherine don't want him, the question is, why should Portlanders want him?
What? Well, you understand? Because we have to respect the people of Portland.
But I don't know. Maybe that he has an answer for that.
I know the people never voted for a non-performer in their life again, Mr. Perkins. I know that for a fact. So, but Mr. Perkins, the same thing he's saying about the Labour Party, I will say about the PNP that the PNP is lost its way, Mr. Perkins.
You think so?
Because certainly, Mr. Perkins, the PNP in which I heard you talk about from Norman Manley days would have never accepted somebody like Mr. Dabdoo with his poor performance on a Norman Manley. Would you agree with Mr. Perkins? You know a lot about Norman Manley. Do you think if Norman Manley was the leader of the PNP today, would have accepted a man like Mr. Dabdoo with such a poor performance, Mr. Perkins?
Well, I don't want to get too deep into that, you know.
All right.
That is a matter for people to make their own judgments about.
All right.
But it's just that when I look on and see the commotion that is going on, you know, I just wonder what it is about. And one of the roles of a journalist, in my view, is to sort of help people to take a balanced view of things.
Exactly, Mr. Perkins. Exactly.
So,
and you're perfectly right. Mr. Perkins, was nice talking to you.
So what is happening in West Portland now?
Mr. Perkins, you need to really go up there for a weekend. For instance, a lot of the things in which the people in West Portland have lost over the years. Since Darival has become the caretaker and he has spoken out, they are able to achieve back a lot of things. For instance, we have received a fire unit. He talk about 27 communities which were without water on your program. Some of them have received water so far because he have never stopped fight. The bad roads which you don't need me to tell you about. You have no fighting and talking to the NWA about the bad road, and I hear Mr. Steve Shaw is saying that they are now in final arrangement with the contractors.
A man like you make Dr. Goebbels look like him not trying, you know.
Mr. Perkins.
maybe they might soon recruit you into the police force as an assistant commissioner.
Before I go, you see, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
I just want to say on your program to wish. Do you remember Sonny?
Yes.
I want to wish him all the best.
Yes.
And
how is he now?
I spoke to him a few hours ago and he seemed to be a little on the down, but we keep on praying for him.
Yes.
Hoping that he can recover speedily.
All right. Yes, all right.
Thank you very much.
All the best to you, eh? Good. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. We've been trying to get some information about this supposed hold-up. And we spoke to somebody in the ministry of they wouldn't even, they just tell us they don't know anything about that. They just refuse to And we can't get the permanent secretary. Can't get the permanent secretary. Can't get the minister. Anyway, let's pursue it. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm calling from Baltimore. I'm trying to get a hold of Mr. Perkins.
I am Perkins.
Oh, Mr. Perkins?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm glad I get a hold of you. I was in Jamaica over a year ago.
Yes.
And it's concerning the accident on Highway 2000.
Uh-huh.
Are you familiar with that accident, that 7-car pileup?
The what?
The 7-car pileup on Highway 2000 back in February.
Yes.
Last year?
Yes.
Well, I was one of the drivers of the car that was involved in that accident.
Yes.
And up to now, I don't think any one of us as auto drivers would ever get any reimbursement for the mishap that happened on the highway.
That was the result of the smoke? That
was the result of the smoke.
Yes. Have you...
Well, what happened is, would you like to let me just share my experience with you and the Jamaican people, because I went through hell, and most of us that was involved in an accident have been to death's door.
Uh-huh.
And I think we were treated very bad by the people that operate the toll road.
Yes.
First of all, after the accident, it took them a long time to come out. The ambulance came out, and they took the people to the hospital, and there was blood all over the place. They couldn't get treated because some of them had no money to register, and they couldn't get no medical assistance.
At the hospital?
They had to go away.
At the public hospital?
They're closed.
This was at the public hospital?
No, that was the Spanish Town Hospital.
The Spanish Town Hospital?
That's right, sir.
No treatment without money?
No, they didn't have any money, and they couldn't. As a result of that, some of them could not be registered.
Oh, yes.
As a matter of fact, when we went there, I went there with the guys from the TV station, I think. He was a cameraman. And there was no need for me even saying I was hurt, because the people were at the hospital the night before and couldn't even get a chance to see a doctor or just to register.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was appalled to see that the condition of Spanish Town Hospital has sink to that level. I mean, after 25 years living outside of Jamaica, I think by now they brought the old hospital up to standard.
Yes.
The hospital that I take my dog was in better shape than the one that I witnessed in Spanish Town.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you what. You know, when the fire truck came out to put out the fire, I thought they would have hosed it down. They were there without no water, beating the fire down with rags.
So how did they put out the fire?
And this is no exaggeration.
How did they put out the fire?
The fire burned itself out. You see, as far as I'm concerned, my car that I had was registered in my name. It was a vacation card, you know. I traveled to Jamaica, like I used to go, like, stay 3 months, twice a year, or twice in a 12-month period.
Yes.
And what happened, I'm driving on the highway, and, you know, we started smoke, you know. But then we saw police car writing tickets for speeding. So if you see, you know, it was like obviously okay to go through if there was police and traffic going. There was no need for any alarm because that passed a couple of times, and there's always smoke on that highway.
Uh-huh.
But
well, I don't know.
I did not
I've noticed
have inclination that they could operate the highway, right?
Uh-huh.
And would not even have the precaution enough to even block off the highway until, you know, the fire had burned itself out. So in proceeding, there was a big accident, seemed like in the middle of the smoke. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when my car was in a left-hand lane, and there was a car on the right-hand side. That car had hit a car in the back and spin around across my lane, knocked my little small car off in the shoulder. So when I undo my seatbelt and come out, I was on the burning grass. So I was fearful that the car was going to explode because there was gasoline and the trees on the road. So I run forward. Now when I run forward, that's when I realized the severity of the accident. There were people flipped over, people screaming, there was blood. I mean, and then there was other cars keep coming and crashing. Now, would you believe that the people, when they eventually arrived from the toll facility, and they came down, and they said, don't worry about everything, we take care of all of this and everything, they throw away the vehicles. Until this day, I have not heard or hear a phone call from nobody from the toll facility, one letter from my insurance company that blame me for the accident. Who was in the rear?
They blame you for the accident?
United General Insurance Company that I paid my premium sent me a letter to my brother in Jamaica. I was the one who caused the accident. And yet I was driving my smartest car.
How was your car?
And I was in the rear.
You were hit in the rear?
I saw Rookie Swift.
Well, look here. Have you briefed a lawyer on this?
Well, I have to come down there and see a lawyer in person.
Yes, but don't take...
You're right. I'm planning to do that.
Yes, but do it quickly, because you may well find yourself out of time if you wait too long.
Right. So,
when did this happen? Hold on. Hello. When did it happen?
Because what they do...
When did the accident...
Everybody for the accident and the right hand don't know what the left hand do.
Yes. When did the accident occur?
If we could get all the people who was involved in that day, we could file a class action lawsuit against them.
Well, I don't think you have to go to all that trouble. If you want to do it, you can do it.
Right. You have to get all the people involved.
Well...
And when I come down there, I'm going to put ad in the newspaper.
Okay.
Which I'm planning to do so in April, so all the parties involved, we can come together and put this thing before the court.
When did the accident occur?
They want to walk.
I'm trying to ask you something.
Walk away without paying a dime.
I'm trying to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
When did the accident occur?
This happened in February of last year, and February 2018 of February.
Well, look here, sir. I don't think from my recollection, I don't think you have all that much time. It is coming up to a year now.
Right.
And you haven't filed any papers yet?
Well, I just heard from the insurance investigator back, I think, in August. They were saying they're going to re-investigate the case, but I haven't heard anything from Mr. Marlo Campbell from United General Insurance Company, and I haven't heard anything from anybody.
Look, sir, get in touch with the lawyer immediately.
Yes, sir.
All right? And he can tell you how much time you have in which to file an action. Okay?
You mean the statute of limitation?
There is yes, there are limits.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, so thank you.
Do that immediately.
Right, okay. And I just want to tell everybody that this is Neville Brown from Baltimore. And I'll be back.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All the best to you. Okay, hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. Well, I wait you 3 calls to get you today, sir.
Sorry about that.
Okay, now I want to talk to you about the violence that is taking place in the country, sir. And that the PNP is actually campaigning right now. Right?
You think so?
I think so because they campaign with violence, usually,
Oh, come on.
Right? No, Mr. Perkins, I'm not just trying to make any wild accusations, Right? We're going by history.
You have evidence of it.
Sir, what is happening right now? If you notice, but before I touch it, I will come to it right now. Before I touch it, I just want to touch a little thing about the economy, about what is happening with the rate of exchange. Yeah, because there's something that's happened that none of our economists or even the opposition spokesmen on finance is picking up or really talking about. Now, what is happening is that the money market people and the banks are pressuring the US dollar. Whenever they want some US, like what they did recently, you hear that for a long time the dollar didn't slide, right?
Hold on a moment. Okay, thank you very much. We're back on line. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
This is Perkins.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, to me, what is happening with these banks and the financial institutions, sir, is like it's a bandula thing going on.
What is
What
that?
they do, the other day we had the dollar was fairly stable for a while, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, what you find happening that they need some US dollars now. So what they do, they pressure the dollar. They suddenly come together, like they agree. All of a sudden, the marketplace is being pressured. The finance minister comes in, and the Bank of Jamaica pumps in US dollars. This is what they report on the radio in the days. The Bank of Jamaica intervenes, pumps in US dollars to try to keep the dollar stable.
Uh-huh.
These institutions gobble up those US dollars because this is the purpose why they pressure the dollar. They now gobble up these US dollars.
Who does?
The institutions which are pressuring the dollar by stepping up the demand for it.
Uh-huh.
They suddenly come if one of those institutions was step up their demand, it wouldn't pressure the dollar, But all of them suddenly start pressuring the dollar at the same time. So that's why my common sense tell me that it's a planned thing.
Your what?
My common sense tell me that is planned.
Uh-huh.
Right? Now, the finance minister now pumps US dollars in on a daily basis. You hear that happen for about a week. The minister of the Bank of Jamaica has intervened in the marketplace and pumps US dollars into the system to try and stabilize the dollar. They now gobble up these US dollars, which is millions of dollars, and then satisfy their wants, and it ease off. And then the dollar becomes stable again until they want some more US. The cycles continue. Now, what it does to us, how we realize it, you might not realize the Perkins. We suddenly don't hear any announcement of any price increase. In December or so, when they started, we just go to the wholesale and the Chinaman say, biscuit raise, then chicken raise, chicken raise by like $10 a pound gone on chicken. Every single thing in the place them raise as a consequence. And without any official announcement being made, that doesn't happen again. Right? And they tell you about single-digit inflation, and each time they do that, is a spiral of inflation takes place on the street. And we want them to know that the people on the road, we know that is happening. It's just that we're not, nobody's listening to us, or we don't have any voice, except like calling programs like this, to let these thieves and crooks know that we know that is what they're doing.
Hold on, sir. Let me ask you
pressuring our lives, Mr. Perkins.
Hold on a moment. Why would the banks, if they wanted to buy US dollars, why would they be pushing up the price of what it is that they want to buy? This is what you're saying?
Yeah.
That the banks are pushing up the prices.
Right, because
of the US dollars.
Why? That's simple, Mr. Perkins. The price will go up. Remember, the US is like 60, call it, it was selling as 66.50, okay?
No, it's more than that. It's 67,
okay, no, let us go for example.
57.
Okay. It goes up to 66.70. It goes up by a little increments like that, okay? 75.
Yeah.
Alright. The next day, the finance minister comes in and he pumps in some millions of US. They gobble up that. This is what they want, They don't mind the little 20 cent extra,
Look, sir.
Right?
Hold on. What is causing the pressure on the dollar?
What is causing the pressure on the dollar? The banks, the financial institutions.
No.
The money market people who are stepping up the demand for this thing.
No, sir. No.
All the people don't want US dollars to buy.
What is happening, sir?
Yeah.
Is that the government has lowered the interest rates payable on the Jamaican dollar bonds.
Right.
Right? And when that happens, people want to move out of Jamaican dollars and into the owners of this capital that has been made available to the government.
Yeah.
They want to get out of Jamaican dollars, right? Because when you remain in Jamaican dollars and the interest rates go down and the inflation rate is, as you say, high, right? Then you are in some danger.
Yeah, but
so what is happening is, And it happens whenever the government lowers the interest rates.
Yeah.
Right? The pressure is on the dollar, right? And because people want to get out of Jamaican dollars and into the US dollars, which they regard as a safer currency.
So in order to do that, they need US dollars.
What?
In order to do that.
Yes, they have to buy US dollars.
Right, so this is it.
Right?
So this is it.
But it's not the banks who are doing it. All sorts of people are doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, they're buying them in bulk amounts, you know, Mr. Perkins, by the millions, you know.
Who?
The banks and the money market people.
People are buying, yes, people are buying dollars. People are shifting into US dollars because the Jamaican dollars is not seen by them as a worthwhile currency to have in the circumstances.
But the end result, sir, is that it is causing a spiraling inflationary cycle to taking place on the street. And this is not being addressed by the economist or the minister of finance and the government.
Well, it's a problem.
That every time they do this,
hold on, sir.
If it's 3 times for the year,
hold on, sir. It is a problem created by the government.
Yeah, I'm not saying no.
Right?
But I'm just saying.
So don't blame the banks for it, or don't blame the whoever it is that is buying US dollars, right? Because they don't want to lose their money.
Yeah, and this is a policy because they know that the Minister of Finance is going to come in and pump dollars into the system.
Yes.
To stabilize the dollar. Okay, off that point now. They know that we know what is happening. The violence, sir.
Uh-huh.
Now, let us go back in history for a little bit. In the 1976 election campaign, in Portia Simpson's constituency, right? It was a JLP stronghold. Do you remember that?
19 when?
76. It was Tavares Gardens, was at Clem Tavares stronghold.
Yes.
In Bill out the stuff.
Uh-huh.
Okay. In 1976, when happened is that Portia said that Tony Spalding was our mentor.
Uh-huh.
Right. You find that the bad man them come down there along with police in that period of time. I can't say who sent them, because I can't prove that. But badman and police went down there and them burn out and shoot out the people. Them had to run away from out there, and the labor them have to run away and flee till some of them end up in the KNP system over Central St. Catherine. That's why so much of them end up over there till this day. And when the election run, is when Portia was campaigning for presidency last year, I heard the figure that Portia won the seat by over 9,000 votes in a GLP constituency. JLP stronghold, inner city garrison stronghold.
Last year?
Yeah, no, I heard the figure last year.
Last election?
No, when she was campaigning for the presidency and they were talking about her history and stuff.
Well, that was last year.
Yeah, that came up. Because I didn't realize that she had won that seat by so many votes. Over 9,000 votes. Because them run with all the labor at them out there. No, that is a strategy that the PNP has adopted over the years. Now, Justice Carr, remember Justice Carr had a report on political garrisons? Okay, I was reading the Gleaner, a piece of that report. What Justice Carr found out in that report was that within the garrison, there are other garrisons. So, for example, inside a garrison like, for example, West Kingston, as a garrison, you will have JLP garrison. You'll have a PNP garrison like Anatown, PNP garrison like Matches Lane, and so forth.
Yeah.
I have that in all of Fair's constituencies.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what Justice Carr said in his report was that some garrisons try to gobble up other garrisons to eat them up using violence and those burning out people strategy. Now, when you attack people and kill them, kill 3-4 people, chop off head, burn down house, and do all kind of various things, the ordinary citizen out there, the average man, look a family, they're helpless. When they look, they don't see no police. Or in Montego Bay, what's happening down there right now? You don't, no soldiers. I don't know if none gone on there now. They're just sending down police. The violence has been happening. People are being killed and murdered. When the police them come, take statements, set up roadblock, and then after they.
But I'm sure I heard of soldiers having been sent to Montego Bay.
Since the most recent spate of killings.
Yes.
And public outcry and so forth. So all along people are being killed in Montego Bay, Mr. Perkins. Mountain View and all those areas. Anyway, you find a pocket of labor rights. That is where you find the violence concentrated against these people, right? And the people are when you move out of the area, you can't vote. If you move and live in another area, you cannot vote. That's how the new rule is gonna so. You can't vote where you're gonna live. You have to vote where your census take up.
Yes.
Right, so that's the purpose. That's how the PNP is championing right now. They're using violence to drive out pockets of people from the labor rights stronghold them. And the JLP is not even they're not even aware and they're not even talking about it. So I don't know if Derek Smith ever realized and Mr. Goldman that this is what is happening. Right? This is what is happening right now. And this is why I have, for example, imagine a man like Bulby. When Bulby was killed, that's what them said. The police said that Bulby was wanted for 200 murders. How them know that, Mr. Perkins? How them know that this man was wanted for, how them know when him wanted for number 87 or number 135? How them know that? And nobody in the country besides them know that. Eh?
But wasn't Bulby a PNP man?
Yeah. Right? So what I'm saying is that the police at times know what is happening. They know about some of these killings that is taking place, especially when they're killing off the labor right them. Right? And every time I don't see none of the other PNP them kill and them man they upon TV borrow for them people. And them have ghetto areas in them constituency now in St. James. Right? But anyway, the labor them concentrated. That is where the violence is concentrated. And the police is saying that there's no political violence. I beg to this, Mr. Perkins, I beg to tell them that it's the 3/4 of the violence taking place right now. Tell this where the white policeman name.
The white policeman?
Yeah, from the one who come down, the two of them is, Les Green and Mr.
You mean Mr. Shields?
Mr. Shields. Right. Tell them, because they're not aware about the issue of what is happening, you know. Political violence is live and well. And it's half of the murders are more that is happening in Jamaica. It's political, if it's not even politically motivated, it is happening between JLP and PNP areas. Across the board. When they're telling that these people are fighting for turf, Mr. Perkins, when the police come out and tell us that it's gang war and they're fighting for turf about, that is so like a drug war, you know. Which drugs are fighting over? Look, cocaine is all living on the streets. Right? Nobody fighting for ganja. PNP can't go over in a JLP garrison and go sell drugs. JLP, you know what? Can't go over in a PNP garrison and go sell drugs. You understand? No JLP can't set up no drug corner up over the PNP part. The PNP now want to go over the JLP part, go set up a drug corner. Remember, go over there, go sit down and sell drugs with opposing gunmen and walk up and come buy from him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it's like New York or in America where friends say, it's like a political thing now. People want them turf to sell them things.
Yes.
Right? But they are putting it out to the public. That is
hold on for me. Hold on. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Yeah, I'm happy. Yes, sir, just wrapping up, sir. A little thing come back to remember that the plan says to bring out here. Now, I have a friend, you know, a soldier friend. And he is an inner city man. And he come from a JLP inner city constituency. And what he saying to me is that he said, boy, I'm going to leave the army, you know. And since he met the threat, he actually leave the army. He said, what I'm doing, the pressure and the soldier them will come from JLP inner city communities in Kingston. The army doing it to give them information about gunmen. And when the soldier them said to them, well, we don't know nothing, but we're a soldier and the army do work like everybody else. They pressure them to the point that these guys have to resign. I know of a few of them who have actually resigned and some have left the island. Right? From JLP soldier them
JLP soldier.
Inner city here. So, understand, Sapi? They come from JLP constituencies.
So what happened? What about the PNP ones? They're not pressuring them?
They're not pressuring them.
How you know?
Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
You can see what, remember the incident that took place up by the fire at Barnes Avenue with the little girl and two people in the house.
Yes.
And when the people them call the soldiers say them can't come because the police not with them. Them soldiers come from in them areas there. Them come in the area where you live, and you hear them attack where them come from and stuff at times. And them come from a pure PNP soldier in the army, PNP constituency area soldier in a Kingston in the army, pack up in the army.
There are no JLP people from JLP. But you just told me about JLP soldiers, you know.
Sir?
You just a while ago told me about soldiers from the JLP that you knew.
About flip still. They come from JLP constituencies. That's what I'm saying, Mr. Perkins. So the pressure on these guys to the point that they have to resign and leave the army.
Yes, but they do take soldiers from JLP constituencies.
I know those that live in my community. Yes. I live in a JLP community, and all of them that I know, Mr. Perkins, have to resign. I know of at least 4 of them have to resign and leave the army. Some have fled the island, leave the island, and
but gone. What about the PNP ones? You don't know about PNP ones?
When soldiers come out of the JLP and you see them pose, them pose like soldiers, they act like soldiers, you know. A soldier come down and me sit down on my gate, and the soldiers come down in a line, them a walk, there's 3-4 of them. I just come stop and have them going about 12 inches from my head. When I look for them going, I look the other direction, I look straight in front of me. And a old lady sitting beside me. I look, turn to, come and say, look around for them gun, him go down, fire the trigger, pull the trigger. And him do that and stand up and him ask no question until him just walk off and go, because I look around for him. Then that kind of intimidation and things that them carry out.
Yes. See? But you are saying, hold on, sir, you're saying that the army is
being packed up with boys from Maxilla, Painland and them places. Yes. And them now patrol them areas. That's why the violence so rampant.
Hold on.
You can't go to Maxilla.
Hold on now. They are being taken into the army. On the basis of being PNP supporters.
Right. So what happened?
Hold on a minute now. Hold on. So what happened? They made a mistake in taking some JLP ones.
Sir, Mr. Perkins, when people go join the army now, right? I don't know if a lot of people in my community who in the army.
Yes.
Few people, 1 and 2, when me really know of. But I'm saying to you that I've had experience whereby soldiers have complained to me that to leave the army because
I have heard you saying that, sir.
Yeah.
But what I want, you are saying that JLP persons from JLP areas
are being forced.
No. You said that they were asked to provide information about gunmen in their areas.
Yeah.
Right. So at that point, the army knew that they were from JLP areas.
Yeah, they know what
and they would have known from the very beginning, because when they tell them their address, they would know the constituency where they're from.
Yeah.
All right. So the idea that they're not taking people from JLP areas is not correct.
No, I didn't say that. I'm not saying that they're not taking people from JLP areas.
They do take people from JLP areas.
So how come would they be in the army? I'm saying that when they go there,
precisely my
and they're not giving them any information, then they find themselves being pressured.
Yes, so
they have to leave.
So, but you don't know whether similar things are happening with the PNP ones.
I don't know, but the fact that we still have an army and we still have so many soldiers walking up and down tells me that they're not doing it.
Yes, but there are some soldiers, perhaps, who are giving that information.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I wouldn't be able to say that, sir. Right? But I'm just pointing this out to you because it has come to my attention, sir. And I think it is important because the Chief of Staff at one stage was saying that some places is the biggest garrison and what have you. And we have an army that is most times seem to be taking sides in the fight against crime. And they can't fight crime one-sided. When you look at what is happening up in all Maxi and them here, it is so dangerous, Mr. Perkins. Bus and taxi and everything, buses are on there for years now, No bus no run there. If any stranger walk into those areas and they don't know you, they all come out alive. And the amount of shooting and killing taking place, they all have any joint security force actions taking place in those consistencies. Right? And the crime rate is so high in there. No, I'm saying you don't hear the Prime Minister coming out and saying these things. You're saying she's the Prime Minister of all Jamaica. All Jamaica. And she has taken victimization, she and PJ, to a new level. This politics is not about any fight for the case benefits again. Because the Labour can't go on the PNP side, go look no work for Mr. Perkins. And I like one time when you have to Labour and PNP a quarrel of a ball of work with Nelly Boy, You have to when holiday time, you have to Labour over this, the PNP over this, and the workman come and give out work and say, give me 15 PNP and 10 from over the side. Then they get done. If you go boy, you look and work a gunshot, you get like the bottom up a Constant Spring, up a Stony Hill. Gunshot, and you say, and we hear that. Right? And the JLP needs to stop being naive towards what is happening and become very aggressive and serious and stop sit down about them in a talk about
so look here.
Peace with them people. You're not making any war.
It is
peace of economic war.
It is the PNP that are making plans for violence.
Mr. Perkins. Mr. Perkins. From the evidence, historical evidence of what is happening in the country, the JLP constituencies are always coming under attack first. Most time when the Labour them get involved, them always react to the violence, and then you hear them come out and say peace meeting. They not call for a peace meeting when the Labour them are dead. But when Labour them rise up, you hear them jump and say peace conference.
But there is violence in Labour Party areas and violence in PNP areas.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes Labour them kick off with Labour and PNP kick off with PNP. It happens.
All right,
I'm saying that a lot of the violence are taking place right now. The police is turning a blind eye and saying that there's no political violence.
Thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi, pleasant good afternoon. I need the help of your listeners in the assistance of finding a stolen company vehicle.
Yes.
All right. It's a 2000 Toyota Townace.
Toyota?
Townace bus.
Yes.
The license plate, well, if it's still on there, it's CE 2551.
CE
2551.
51.
The vehicle is very noticeable. It is marked Mobile Car Wash, Auto Vision and Accessories.
Yes.
It has a toll-free number which is 1-888-991-9274. And in brackets it has the word wash. It is very colorful.
Yes.
It has pictures at the back of the vehicle, like of a mobile car running through water. It has rims and tires, all kind of information written all over the bus. It has various colors. We have two other vehicles like it, but the license plate for this one is the one that is missing. And it's been missing since Sunday. There is an award, a reward being offered if anybody finds this vehicle.
It's missing since Sunday.
Sorry?
Was there a hold-up or something?
No, it was parked. Driver went, I don't know if he went to relieve himself, but it was parked and it disappeared. So they're very brave to thief a vehicle looking like that since it's very, very colorful.
What, did he leave the keys in it?
That we're not even too sure of. But nowadays they need anything to thief a vehicle. So I'd like your listeners to keep an eye out for it. I said there is an award.
Okay.
Reward, I should say. So the numbers, I can give it a number 960 06 12. They can call the office and any information they have, it will be confidential and we can go from there.
Give me that number again.
960
06 12.
Yes, sir. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
All the best to you. Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Good day, Mr. Perkins?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
I beg your pardon?
Hello? I believe everything that man said, you know.
Yes?
About PNP chasing out JLP. It's true.
Why do you believe it? You're JLP.
Because I'm aware of that too.
Hold on.
Pardon?
You're JLP?
No.
You're not JLP?
I'm a Jamaican.
Yes, but there are Jamaicans who are JLP. And
yes,
some who are PNP.
I'm not a JLP. It's not written on me.
I see. But you tend to be sympathetic towards the JLP.
Yeah, because remember when Precious...
No, does that have anything to your believing what he said? Anything to do with it?
No, but what he's saying that whenever there's elections are looming, like they chase out PNP so that the PNP can have a stronger vote. The same thing just as us push the to speak at the national arena, violence erupts immediately.
Would you speak up a bit for me?
And didn't the same thing happen with Tivoli Garden too?
Yes.
So I believe every word he said. It's true. He's speaking the truth. So Jamaicans should be aware of that.
I see.
The next thing I want to ask you, Mr. Perkins, where is Mr. Anita Adams born?
He is still in Kingston, I believe. working
where
in
was
the...
he born?
Where was he born? I see, I don't know.
I heard that he was born in Haiti.
In Haiti? I don't know, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You should check it out.
But assuming he was of Jamaican parents?
Well, I guess so.
Oh, well. So he's still a Jamaican citizen.
Right. And he wasn't born in Jamaica, but he came from in Jamaica.
Well, I don't know, sir. I don't know whether he was born in Jamaica. Right?
But anyway, all I'm saying, that caller that called you was telling me about all that stuff. It's true. Because I heard that push.
Say that because you do not have the evidence of it.
But anyway, that's all I just thought to say.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. The evidence of it.
But anyway, that's all I just thought to say.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
How are you doing, Mr. Perkins?
How
are you doing?
Not too bad.
I want to ask you a question, right?
Yes.
Why did you allow that caller, not the caller, but the one before, so much time to make those accusations to say that the PNP is campaigning?
Speak up a bit for me.
Saying that the PNP persons are using violence as a way or a means to drive out pockets of persons who support the Jamaican.
When somebody says something like that, sir, I can't just dismiss it.
I never said you were supposed to dismiss it.
No.
I'm just saying that why.
Hold on.
Okay.
It may be true. Mightn't it? Might it not be true?
Not necessarily. But it can be sensational.
No, I'm not saying that it is necessarily true. But I'm saying that because of the possibility of it being true, one has, if somebody says that, one has to try and ask the person to justify the statement. Right?
Okay.
And in that way you can get information, or you can discover that what he's saying is not true or whatever.
Okay.
Right?
Let me ask you a question.
Yes,
again.
sir.
Another question. Do you think that you're a balanced journalist in all your many years of doing talk shows and giving commentary?
That is going to depend upon who is making the judgment, obviously, because there are some who might consider me balanced and others who might consider me but this depends upon what I'm criticizing and who is affected by it.
There is a perception out there that all the years that you have been on the radio, you are campaigning on behalf of the JLP.
That is not true. Well, you believe that?
No, I said there's a perception that I believe it. How do you respond to that?
How do I respond?
Yes.
Respond to what? The fact that there is a perception?
Yes.
I would
listeners of your program, because you have, just be frank, you have a very wide listenership.
Very wide what?
You have a very wide listenership, right? And the perception out there is that Mr. Perkins is campaigning vigorously for the Jamaica Labour Party.
Yes, well, I tell you something.
And your comments is that some of your comments are that the PNP government has never done anything right for this country.
Hold on. When people come, when somebody like you comes here to say things like that, my only way of responding to it is to ask you, what is it that I have said that is not true? What argument have I presented that is not valid? Right? If the things that I have said are true, if the arguments that I have presented are valid, well, whether they go in favor of the PNP or of the JLP is neither here nor there to me. I'm about being truthful and rational.
Oh,
right?
But based on most of the stuff I've listened to you, as far I can only interpret from you is that you're telling me that the People's National Party has never done nothing good for Jamaica.
I told you that?
You have always said that.
that I have said, you have heard me say, that the People's National Party has never done anything good for Jamaica?
I never said you said it, sir.
Oh!
What I'm saying to you is that, based on listening to you, my interpretation, it seems to me, if I would follow you, it means that the PNP has never done nothing right.
No, but hold on, sir. I cannot be held responsible for the irrational conclusions to which you may feel may wish to jump.
I think your commentary sometimes is way off.
Oh?
And you're not balanced.
Well, tell me about that. What is it that tell me about what I said that is way off.
A lot of things.
Like what?
Even at the beginning of your program this morning.
Yes.
And even yesterday you were saying that Lady Huggins and all those rubbish. Absolutely garbage.
Lady Huggins and all those rubbish?
Yes, man.
I don't understand you. What do you mean by that? I never said that.
Jamaica Labour Party. And let me tell you one thing before I go.
I beg your pardon?
When the People's National Party...
Hold on a moment for me. No, man, you've come and you've made accusations.
Yes, man.
Right? I want you to justify the accusations that you're making. Hold on for a moment. Yes, comrade. I'm back with you.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
What did you say a while ago?
Forget that.
Okay, good.
Now, look
those are the things I'm talking about.
Hold on a moment.
That's the thing I'm talking about.
Hold on a moment.
You're going to call me a comrade.
Hold on a moment.
I don't agree with you.
Hold on now. What do you want to hear on a program like this now?
Balanced journalism being practiced.
Balanced journalism.
Being practiced.
Now, what do you mean by balanced journalism?
Meaning that you weigh both sides of the argument, for and against, and you make the right call.
But how do you
not sounding one-sided?
How do you determine?
Getting at.
How do you determine what is the right call?
You are a journalist for many, many years.
Yeah.
You're supposed to can determine that by now. I would hope that you have a reservoir of knowledge.
I think that I have determined it, yes.
No, I don't think you have.
No, you don't?
I think you have been one-sided all along.
Well, I tell you something. The People's National Party has been in office now for 18 years. Right? It's the first time in the modern history of Jamaica that any party has been in office for so long. And when you look at Jamaica today, Jamaica is probably worse off today than it was in 1989.
Really now?
What?
Really now?
Oh, yes.
Oh?
Oh, yes.
Oh?
Well, you tell me, you don't agree with that?
No.
You don't?
No, I think progress have been met.
What progress?
What do you mean, what progress?
Tell me now.
More Jamaicans are accessing health. It can be better.
Accessing what?
More Jamaicans are accessing education.
Education?
Yes, man. More.
You mean that some people?
Man. More people.
Hold on a minute.
More people.
Hold on a minute. I think it was on Ronnie Thwaites' program yesterday morning, right? What's his name? He's an educational expert. And they were talking, and I think at one point I heard them say, or somebody say something to Dr. Thompson, Ralph Thompson, or Mr. Ralph Thompson.
That's the education brother.
Yeah. And I believe I heard him say something about youngsters going to university not able to read properly, and they have to be remedial classes.
That has always been there. You always have remedial English classes at the university.
You mean that
there is always remedial English classes out there?
You mean that that youngsters some of them are going into secondary school?
Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to remedial and they cannot read. What it means is that they can read, but they're not at a particular level at which the university want them to be, so they are sent or they do a proficiency test.
No, sir, but hold on a little bit.
So there's a distinct difference there. So
no, they should be leaving secondary school.
Operative word should. What I'm saying to you, Mr. Perkins, is that there have been significant improvements. Look at the transformation that is going on right now in the educational section.
It is easy to say that.
No, I not come and discuss about what Mr.
Okay, the quality of the education being offered today in our schools is quite poor, right?
Yes.
The quality of our healthcare systems is appalling, right?
And you're saying that no significant improvement have been made over the last 18 years?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think
that's
so.
That's your opinion, and I can't fight you on that.
The quality of our roads is appalling. Our economy is in a mess. The country is more indebted than it has ever been. Right? More people are unemployed, although the government is lying to about unemployment being down to 8.5%.
You believe that we should have sweatshops here? That's what you're saying to us then, for people to get the basic amenities. So you're saying that we should have sweatshops here? That's what you're saying to us?
Sweatshops?
Yes, that's what which have occurred in the 80s when they had free zone and all those sweatshops where people were working below minimum wage.
They were working below the minimum wage?
Working for minimum wage back then. You're suggesting that we should have sweatshops.
I'm sure that there are a lot of
health here, no health benefits. That's what you're suggesting, sir?
I'm sure that there'll be a lot of people in Jamaica. First of all, I don't know that they were working at minimum wages.
Well, right? I'm telling you.
But there was more employment available then. But let us leave that aside.
No, I want to go there. I want to go there. I want to go there
because you are concerned.
No, as far as I'm concerned.
You are concerned to make effect comparisons between JLP performance and PNP performance. Let's leave that aside. Right? Let's leave that aside. You have been in office now for 18 years. Hold on. You've been in office now for 18 years.
Things have happened.
And there are people in this country who can't get pipe water, have no pipe water in their houses.
Go on, I'm listening to you because you're saying that
there are people in this country, large numbers of them, who do not have access to pipe water in their houses.
And that is why there was a creation of a Minister of Water to deal with this thing effectively.
Yes, creation of a Minister of Water who got a salary. Right? And had a staff around him.
No.
And where is the water in the people's houses?
No. Don't try and spin it another way.
Right?
We realize that there was a problem.
We're hearing about, you're talking about crime. There is more crime now than there has ever been in the country.
No, let us go back to the water issue before you go back to the crime issue, because you want to come off a topic, and I want listeners to understand that you're making it to seem as if there have been no attempt whatsoever as to tackle or to try to solve the situation. I'm saying to you,
I am not interested in your attempts.
No.
What the people need.
So you're saying that.
Hold on, sir. What the people need are not attempts. What the people need is water.
You are misleading people.
Oh, yes?
You have been doing that.
They should be happy with attempts to provide water.
Nobody said that they should be happy to what they're there you go again. Whenever somebody does not agree with you, you laugh. You laugh. The fact of the matter is that when they win the fifth term, I want to hear your criticism for the next 5 years.
Yes.
And they will win it.
Well, I tell you something.
They will win it.
They may.
No.
But if the people, hold on, sir.
Hold on, this administration from the get-go.
Hold on a minute now. If the people of Jamaica want 5 more years of this, well, it's fine. If that's what they want, that is what they'll have, and they'll live with the consequences of it.
What are the consequences? Tell me the consequences. What are the consequences?
Look at what they're having to live with now. Right?
There has been
and just try to use your imagination.
No, there have been significant improvements since 1989.
Don't talk rubbish.
Don't talk
what
rubbish.
Are the significant improvements?
Oh, you mean what are the significant improvements?
In what?
They are there. They are there. They are there. I don't even need to go into them. They are there.
You don't need to go into them.
No, they are there for you to see. They are there.
You mean more man have car, more man have cell phone, and more man have gal.
I hear you always talk about Singapore, and let me tell you this. If you were in Singapore, you couldn't be on the radio chastising the government every year.
Well, I'll tell you something.
You would have been shut up.
Would I?
Yes, man. You would have.
Well, I'm not sure of that.
The Singapore model couldn't work.
Hold on a bit. If I were in Singapore
model couldn't work here.
Hold on.
Because we're a nation.
Hold on a minute.
Go ahead.
If I were in Singapore, right, I would not have no wish to be saying about the Singapore government what I'm now saying about this one. Because the Singapore government has done damn well for its people.
By taking away some of the citizens' rights.
What citizens' rights have they taken away?
You're only talking about the glossier side of it, you know.
What are the rights that they have taken away?
That is why I'm saying to you, sir.
A big man?
That is why I'm saying to you, sir.
I'm not hearing you.
That is why I'm saying to you, sir, that you only look at things one-sided. You don't look at it and weigh the options. And I'm saying that you're not offering the balance journalism.
The people of Singapore, sir, are able to afford decent lifestyles for themselves. Right?
At what cost?
The people
at what cost?
The people of
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
The listeners them at what cost?
The people of Jamaica are living in appalling circumstances.
Sir, and I said to you, at what cost?
What do you mean at what cost?
At what cost? Tell the people them at what cost.
What cost? You tell me.
Listeners to go on the internet.
Tell me at what cost?
No.
What is the cost?
Listeners to go on the internet and research and see where Singapore is coming from to know, and they will understand and see if
Let me tell you something.
Work here.
Let me tell you something.
Bias.
Jamaica is in a mess. Right?
And Wilmot Perkins can save it.
It is in a mess. There is more crime now than there has ever been in the history of this country. Right? There are there are worse health services, worse education system than there has ever been.
Let me ask you a question. When you get ill, do you use the facilities here?
What?
Do you use the healthcare facilities here when you get sick, or you would take? I hear you cause the ministers that they fly overseas.
Yes.
When you get ill, I'm asking, do you use a facility here?
Don't they?
I'm asking you.
Don't they fly overseas?
You're not an ordinary Jamaican.
Eh?
You're not an ordinary Jamaican.
I'm not an ordinary Jamaican.
No, you're well-to-do.
Oh, is that so?
You can fly overseas just the same like any minister.
Well, let me tell you something.
You understand what poor people
Let me tell you something.
You don't understand
Hold
what
on a
people
bit.
are going through.
Hold on a little bit. If I am well-to-do, right? I have worked for every penny that I have.
And the taxpayers have not worked for every penny that they have.
No, hold on. I don't teach nobody money. Right?
Quite so.
And if I go abroad, you see me go abroad, I am paying my airfare. Right?
Don't take me down that
road. And if I stay in a hotel,
don't take me down that road.
I am paying for it.
Don't take me down that road. The
what
point
do you mean?
I'm making that
you're
criticizing the ministers for going overseas.
Which minister?
Any ministers or any government member or member of parliament.
I haven't brought that up at all.
No. In previous shows.
These
people go overseas to get better health care.
Yes.
And you are the same.
Hold on a moment for me. Okay, we're back with you, comrade.
There you go again.
There I go again.
Yeah, there you go again. You're calling me a comrade because I don't agree with you.
You're not a comrade.
Me? Yes, I sympathize to the People's National Party.
You sympathize? You're not a member of the party?
No, I'm not a member of the party, but I vote.
So.
I've voted the last two elections for the People's National Party.
The last three?
Two.
The last two?
Yes.
And before that? Before that?
Never voted.
Oh, I see.
But
and you're a member of the PNPYO?
I'm not a member of the PNPYO.
No?
I'm a Jamaican who believes that the PNP...
You're not a member of the youth organization?
No.
I see.
I am not a member of the youth organization.
Okay, you say so.
Yeah,
I can't prove otherwise.
I'm being truthful. I'm being truthful.
Okay, so you say.
Yes, I am. But what I was saying to you, sir, I'm not saying to you that the fact of the matter is that all I'm saying, you're huge at rhetoric. saying that.
Speak up a bit for me.
I'm saying that your usual rhetoric that nothing has happened or nothing has taken place or there have been no transformation since 1989. Those arguments are just totally unfounded. And I
look here, sir.
That no, please allow me.
No, because you're making false allegations.
No. You're making.
You are making false allegations.
There's nothing.
I have never gone to the point of saying that the PNP has never done anything good for Jamaica. I've never said that.
Yeah, you have never said that, but listening to you over the years, it would appear that you're saying that get rid of these people because these people don't know what they're doing.
Well, I don't think they know what they're doing. That's quite true.
You don't think,
right?
But they are allowed you. They're like expansion in the media.
Hold on.
And
the country is in worse shape after 18 years of PNP rule than it was in when that started.
Government of -5 NIR and -500. You're saying that the country is in the worst state with an NIR of almost $2 billion. You're saying that an NIR of about $2 billion.
Don't be an ass.
Don't be what?
That is an asinine statement.
Really no?
Yes.
Really no?
The government has borrowed money. You know what NIR is?
Of course, it's supposed to be International Reserve. Of course, I know what it is.
It's a reserve fund.
Yes, it's a reserve fund. And when the National Party took over, we had nothing there.
Like when
we had nothing there.
Hold on.
To point that out.
You earn a living. You get a salary, right? And you have to spend that salary on various things, right? And you put aside a little money in a savings account in the bank for a rainy day.
Yes.
If something happens and you need a little extra money,
I'm not saying to you
that is what the NIR is supposed to be.
And I know, and I'm saying to you, when they took over...
That is what the NIR is supposed to be.
None wasn't there.
Yes, all right. Hold on.
Good.
Hold on.
So we agree on something.
No. We don't quite agree on that.
No, man.
Hold on. When the NIR... what your government has done is borrowed money at high rates of interest, right? Put it into the NIR, and it isn't just kept in a vault in the Bank of Jamaica, right? It is lodged in... What are you laughing about? It is lodged in various banks and financial institutions, right?
I'm going to leave you because...
Yes, and what they are doing, they're borrowing money at 13% and more, and putting it into the NIR, and it is lent out at 3 and 4%.
Funny, you're campaigning for the Jamaica. You have a good day, you know. You have a good day.
Okay. So it's a very foolish policy.
What kind of foolish policy?
It's a damn stupid policy, right? But let me leave you with one thing. You know that Karl Marx said that how men organize to produce the means of their subsistence constitutes the fundamental relations of society.
I thought you were against communism. You're quoting Karl Marx.
Hold on. You know what? Omar Davis is. He doesn't agree with that. He doesn't agree with that. Omar's view is that, or the principle on which he functions, is that how men organize to borrow the means of their subsistence constitutes the fundamental relations of society. And that is what he has imposed upon this society.
You continue to
this country owe more debt than it has ever owed before.
You continue to campaign on behalf of the Jamaica Labour
I'm not
Party.
Campaigning on behalf of it.
You are doing that.
I'm not
you
campaigning.
You are doing that. You continue to do
Hold
that.
on a little bit. Could I tell you something?
Yes.
Could I tell you something?
Did you vote the last election? Did you vote the last election?
Yes.
And who you voted for?
I voted for the Labour Party.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the next
well, let me tell you something.
election, you voted for the Labour Party.
Let me tell you something. Right? In the early 1960s.
That's the last time you voted for the PNP?
No, man. No. Early 1960s. The Shearer government was in office at the time. Right? I had a contract with Radio Jamaica. Right? Doing a program called What's Your Grouse? And I did some other things as well. Wrote news commentaries and did news commentaries and so on. Right? I lost that. They gave up they bought my contract, RJR, because I had written a news commentary, right? That the government apparently found embarrassing or whatever, right? It was a commentary on the throne speech made by the Governor General, right? They didn't like it. Algiers' franchise was coming up for renewal, right? And they found it convenient to get rid of me, right? And I went into farming. I came back into journalism in the mid-1970s when the Manley government was in office. Wrote 3 columns a week for the Gleaner, right? When the Labour Party won in 1980, they asked me to do some programs at JBC. I think it lasted, I got a 2-year contract, right? And that contract survived for about 1 year and 8 months or something like that. They bought up the other 4 months and decided to let me loose, right? During the on and on, the Labour Party, when it is in office, has never found me a convenient companion, right? Okay.
Yeah, but the painters never ever shut you up, though.
What?
The painters never ever shut you up at all. They allowed you to talk.
Well, in fairness, I have never lost a job as a result of. But that is because I wasn't. I mean, it isn't a matter of being like with JBC or that kind of thing. And I have had contracts and so on, you know. And I did columns of the Gleaner in the 1970s. And my wife had a column. Was doing a radio program in the 1970s, right? Mm-hmm. And it was the most popular radio program on radio in Jamaica, right? But when the contract came to an end, they terminated it, right? Okay?
Okay, Mr.
That was Radio Jamaica, right? And you know why they terminated it. Okay? So, I mean, we've been taking the blows all around, you know. Right? And as I say, I have there are articles that if you want to go and look them up, you can do them probably in the Institute of Jamaica.
Oh, I will. I will, because I'll be back again, man. I'll be back again.
Yes, man, go look them up.
I'll be back again.
And look at the Gleaners, Oh, I tell you something. One of the things you can do too. In the 1980s, when I was at JBC, I was doing a radio commentary, you know, in the evenings. And every now and then I did a script and submitted it. And JBC rejected it. Mrs. Gloria Latimer was the general manager. She rejected it, right? And I just sent it down, gave it to the Gleaner, and they published it, right? So you can go and look at some of those too. That would be in the Gleaner's files.
All right.
Okay.
Okay then, all the best.
So I don't have to spend a lot of time defending myself, you see. I say what I think right, and having said it, well, that's an end of the matter as far as I'm concerned. You see? Okay?
All right, we'll talk.
Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello, Mr. Perkins?
Good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Sorry I didn't get it before, but I wanted you to, at the end of your program, to play Miss Dr. Davis' speech that he spoke about at Meadowbrook High School.
Oh, yes.
About road with it. I would love for you to play that program.
Tomorrow we'll play it for you.
Yes.
All right?
And I'm
not going to be here myself tomorrow, but they'll play it for you tomorrow.
Yes, and that excerpt that last night, Mr. Golding on the TV, telling Mr. Davis, right, that the money exceed. We Jamaican people, we have a budget to spend. And the law says not to pass that amount. And here is it, Mr. Davis can come to Parliament, want to go over what it
Absolutely, and it has been happening for some time. And it is disgraceful.
Mr. Perkins, that
it
can't
is
work.
Disgraceful, sir.
It is disgraceful, Mr. Perkins. It can't work.
Absolutely.
We're not going to sit up to this, Mr. Dr. Davis.
I don't know. I mean, we have been putting up with it for a long time, and we owe one hell of a lot of money as a result.
Jamaican people are fool no more. I will not take it no more, Dr. Davis.
Well.
We not run with nothing this time. You want something to run with again?
Yes.
Go run with your family, Mr. Davis, and not run with Jamaican money no more.
And you notice how much they'll be spending to keep Air Jamaica alive.
Oh, God, man. I'm going to pay some money again to Air Jamaica.
The hospitals are in a mess. The schools are in a mess. The police stations are in a mess. The police don't have cars to transport them.
Oh, my God, Mr. Perkins and Dr. Davis will run with it and come forward again to run it up again. Because the election here now. He more money to play with, Mr. Perkins. It can't work, Mr. Perkins. We're not going to sit back and take this no more. Dr. Davis is done. It's over. All the balloon, all the chances them burst by the balloon pack.
Well.
It's over, sir. We're not taking no more, sir.
All right, ma'am.
We're tired and sick of it now. We're sick of this government now. They might be able to treat you like we're not a body here.
Okay. Thank you very much. All the best to you.